in the nighttime. Trap nigga with the chickens like Popeye.
Yo, what is going down, y'all? Welcome in the most underrated podcast, broadcasting from Certified Tattoo Studio. The homie Dal Palantonio sitting across from me. The homie JJ down here at the end of the table, the most silent man in podcast history. I was going to say the most underrated. I don't know where I was going there. Anyway, man, a lot of topics to get to. We got a fun podcast for you. Appreciate all the love we're getting on the last podcast, man. We really feel like we're starting to hit our stride, and that was definitely our best so far, and want to keep the momentum rolling. Also, including you guys in the convo, man. We're going to take a look at some of the YouTube comments. We told you guys to encourage you to comment, get involved in the conversation, especially if you're trying to make the podcast better, man. We always love that, and we're here trying to make each and every one of these podcasts better. So when you guys get involved and you have a good take, or you have something that makes the podcast better, we always appreciate that. Anyways, how you doing, Dal?
Hanging in there, man. It's been a busy morning. Obviously, we had
a lot of news stories just broke this morning.
Oh man, yeah, I can't even keep up, man. But I was mostly alluding to most recent cops. Were you able to cop anything this morning? I mean, we had Supreme, we had Element 87s heavy all over Twitter and whatnot. Any luck?
I didn't go for anything. I was strictly doing research and just
good man.
Yeah, getting ready for the show, because I know we're gonna try to go to bait afterwards, or we kind of planned on it, just like we did with the acronyms a couple weeks ago. We planned on going to bait, trying to get Element 87s. What is that? 3 colorways dropping today?
Yes, absolutely.
So I saw on their Instagram they're going to have all 3 locally here in Denver, so we're going to go stand in line, maybe try to cop a pair of those. You got 2 pairs of shoes over here. Let me see.
Let's break them out.
In the comments, funny you brought these today. This wasn't intentional, but someone in the comments was like, you guys should start unboxing sneakers on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's a lot of work, but let me.
It is. You can't do it one-handed, man. Yeah, so what you're breaking out right now is the new Pharrell Solar Hue Glides in the clown color, the duck colorway, the multicolor joints.
Yeah, I don't see myself buying these at all.
Yeah?
No, I don't. I think maybe I'd probably, if I had to choose a pair, I'd go with the white ones.
Would you? Just more from a wearable standpoint?
Like what do you do with these?
The thing
How
is,
do you wear these?
What do you not wear those with? It's got every fucking color you can think of. So for me, it seems like it's pretty easy. But they're loud and proud.
You should have got a bigger pair, so they were literally clown shoes.
Well, yeah, franchise.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
This guy's got jokes. Bring a little humor into the podcast.
If franchise in a size 12 and a half in those, boy, they would look like clown shoes.
Yeah, that's why I'm not getting a pair.
The tins look pretty good.
So I keep these shits away from me. You want to see these, JJ?
Yeah.
Not feeling them, though, huh?
I don't think so. JJ said he was actually feeling them, and I think he's feeling them less now.
Yeah?
But on the internet, you said you were feeling them.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's dope that they're like going into Ultra Boost now and everything like that, and like because
does it feel like an Ultra Boost?
It's really close, so it doesn't have boost all the way through the toe like an Ultra Boost.
Right.
That's really your only difference.
But is that noticeable?
Not too much.
Did you just walk around the crib in them, or did you just kind of put them?
Yeah,
on feet,
I've walked around the crib. So what they feel like to me is an energy boost.
Okay.
So I do have one pair, right? I've got the run through time joints.
Yeah.
They feel like an energy boost to me. That's kind of what they are.
Interesting. That's exactly what they look like to me. So,
to be honest, I thought Pharrell was gonna try to redeem himself from his last drop.
Yeah.
And that did not.
What do you
go
mean?
as
Explain
planned.
yourself.
Wait,
what do you mean by that?
Are you talking about
what do you
the
mean his
Afro,
last drop?
the Afro pack, the solar pack?
Yeah, the solar pack.
What do you not like about them?
Because I like the OGs. Like,
yeah.
They're like these. It's just like, it's so random. There's a pair that I have no idea what the hell it says. And it's
Are you talking about the ones I have? Where I have the yellow and black pair? The ones,
yeah, like
one
those
of them says
ones,
inspire, one of them says empower.
That one's dope and everything.
Which ones don't you like? I'm confused. Last drop.
Those are I don't like that pack in general.
Okay.
Because it's just.
So you are shitting on my shoe.
A little bit,
That's
yeah.
true.
Interesting. Why don't you like them?
It's just the coloring and everything, and just comparing it to
you don't
the
think those black and yellow
OGs.
ones I have are dope? The red outsole, black and yellow. Those aren't tight?
Oh, yeah. Out of all 3 of them, I like that one the most.
Oh, nice. Okay.
JJ, let me put you up on some game here, okay? So the OGs, yes, the Pharrell OGs are fire. They always will be. They're stupid expensive. They're hard to get. I get it, right?
The OGs aren't that comfortable, though.
But they're not.
Let's be honest.
And here's the deal with shoes, with anything, my guy. Music. you have to evolve, right? And you look at the evolution of the Pharrells in terms of comfort. Let's just start there, right?
Is this Kanye in this in a shoe essentially though?
Nope, that's a Pharrell shoe, my friend. I don't know what that means, but let's talk about this.
Kanye's music is going downhill. That's what I'm
Oh.
saying.
Got him. Hey, here's the deal. They put trail soles now on the newer Pharrells. I think that adds comfort, man. That puts you a little higher, above the boost. You have some extra added comfort from that. I don't think the cage, like in the OGs, those cages dug into the sides of the feet, man. So I'm not a big fan of that. So evolution says the shoe is more comfortable. The hype has died. The hype is a lot less. And that's just because NMDs and Boost in general, the hype is obviously dying out on those. But I like the evolution. You can't keep doing the same shit and think that it's going to be, that you can't keep putting out NMDs. They're not selling. They're sitting. And even if it does have Pharrell, it just goes to show that people are kind of done with that silhouette. People are kind of done with Boost and wanting new things.
Yeah, and I could see why he would make something like this. But
now these are a little clowny. They're a little different, but it's a whole different silhouette that Pharrell's never messed with. I think that's cool. I'm not a big fan of the multicolor. I think my favorite color was the neutral, the black, out of the pack. But
was there three?
There was
3 colors in these. I don't remember.
So you had the black, then you had the whites, and then you had the multicolors that all dropped.
I saw some dude on Twitter just like, we got the whites, and he went gardening, or he went
something
I saw
in the
that. Mud. Did you see that? I
Yeah,
don't even know what
he went
doing,
picking strawberries.
That's what it was.
Is what it was.
Good
yeah.
memory.
So
yeah, it was funny. I was like, wow. He just got them right out the box, all white, and they were just trashed afterwards. Like, there was no bringing those back. I don't care what you have. I mean, they're still gonna be. You might be able to rewash them, and you're gonna have to use an insane amount of OxyClean and like stuff like that. But I don't even know.
Fuck out of it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you use bleach, it's gonna mess up the rest of the shoe. So like, I don't know what you would do to that prime knit to get it back. It looked screwed. But luckily, these aren't going for a high resale price. Are they retail? Are they under retail?
No, they're still the multicolors for sure. In my size and the size 10 that we have here, they're still going for $220-ish, and they retail for $150. So that's one of the cheapest Pharrells, if I'm correct, at retail, $150.
Right.
Because I believe that Afro Pack that JJ was just shitting on, especially your shoe,
they were $250.
That retails at $250.
And I got them off StockX, but I got them at retail.
Yeah.
I just put a bid in at retail. Someone accepted it. Here, JJ, put these back in that box and hand me that other one.
Yeah. So the materials aren't the greatest on these. They're not as great as the $250 ones. But, hey, I think it's a great shoe to have in the collection. Would I buy all 3? Absolutely not.
This is the same box that those Juice Racers I have.
Yeah.
Just sitting. If anyone wants a pair of NMD Juice Racers, I got them, and I did not like them.
You still have those?
Still have them.
Ugh.
Hate them. We'll never wear them. They're DS.
I call those the Goldbergs because the print on it reminds me of his tat.
Right. What are the? Oh, you still got to have 3 of these now that you have them. Dallas. Remember, Dallas said he has to have 3 of these.
All right.
Wow.
So what he's looking at is the obviously Adidas Packer collection. Those are the latest collaboration. And man, I was geeked on these shoes. I still am. I still love the way they look, from all the hits to the extra traction on the bottom to the rope laces. The
it feels
insole.
hard on the inside.
Yeah.
I feel that soft. Like is this Ortholite?
I don't know, actually. I haven't looked. I haven't pulled the insole out yet.
I think it looks like it is, but
yeah. But I love this shoe. I still do. I love the look of it. But here's what I would tell you: there is that extra, like leather hits on the heel that come up. Man, do they dig in to the side of my foot? Even caused me a little blister, man. So I'm not as hyped on this shoe because it's not comfortable. It's a little heavy, and it digs the shit into the side of my foot, man. Got a blister out of it. So no, I do not need 3 pairs. I'll keep this pair just because I love it, but I'm pretty bummed with the way it fits.
that's funny.
Yeah,
so you
man.
switched up your tune.
Yeah.
You got blisters from it. No longer you need to. Why don't? Were you wearing ankle socks?
No, I did both, man. But that
Shut
day
up.
I was wearing like just a calf sock. A basic Adidas
You got a
calf
blister
sock.
through the sock?
I did, man.
No.
I did.
Wow.
And it's right below the ankle bone. Right below the ankle bone. I'm sitting with a fucking blister. It's scabbed over right now. I'm not going to put them fucking shoes back on. I'm really bummed because it's an awesome shoe, man. It's just, I don't know, the support and the stability and something in there, man. It's just too much.
I wonder if it's your foot. I wonder if anyone else, if any of the other guys cop these Packers, these 9118s, leave a comment below. Let me know if you're having blisters as well. I'm curious to see if it's just you or if everyone else is having the same issue with this shoe. That's crazy. The shoe in person is not bad. I mean, it's still not a shoe I would cop, but it's heavy. It's way heavy,
It
dude.
is
This
heavy.
is way heavier than I
Expected.
ever expected an Adidas sneaker to be. Everything's so light. All Adidas stuff, you know what I mean? Like, this is heavy.
Right.
This is heavy duty. Right? This is real mountain biking shit here.
That's that HD.
Wow. Yeah. So both pairs you brought in today, I'm not. You didn't spin me around. You didn't flip me on those. I'm still not interested in either of them. Seeing them in hand.
Yeah.
Sometimes that does. Seeing a
Change.
shoe in hand does change. Yeah, does change your opinion on something, but that's not the case for me there, man.
Yeah, no, I think they're decent cops. If anybody's getting these below retail, I mean, I think people should obviously make some moves. But if it were especially the Packers, I'm just real bummed on the fit, and that's just my foot. So I'd like to hear what all the listeners think that do have pairs, because I'm curious. Like, maybe I just have a defect, maybe I have a defective fucking foot. Who knows? But I do love the shoe. It is heavy. It is super stable. It is super supportive. There's a lot of great things that shoe can offer. But for me, the blisters ain't worth it, dog.
Do you feel the boost?
I do. Yes, it feels a lot like the 9317s when you're walking on it. So it feels. You feel the boost. You feel it. We call it a shipload, not a shitload. A shipload of boost. I call it my little boost cruise ship. But
wow,
you can
that's
definitely,
cute, Dallas.
yeah, thank you, man. You can definitely feel that though, and I think it's a great shoe, man. I love the details. I love the concepts. God damn, just minus those blisters.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so moving on from the sneakers.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, we're gonna go look to cop some Element 87s today at Bait.
Yep.
Stay tuned to the social media. You'll see on there if you're interested in checking those out. The Supreme drop this morning. I know you were going after some stuff. Was JJ going after stuff too?
No, JJ was talking a big game over there, thinking he was pretty tight and right. But when it came down to it, man,
What does that mean?
No, I
man?
wasn't.
that fool,
I
that
wasn't.
fool ain't trying to buy nothing, man.
What do you?
He ain't got the cake to buy no Supreme, man.
Ooh.
Ooh, God.
All right. Anyway, what did you get?
So for me, everything sold out super fast. I can tell you first of all what I was going after, if you'd like. But actually, you know what?
Yeah, I'd like to know everything, even though I didn't.
I'll tell you what I was able to get, not necessarily what I wanted. And
What did you want though?
Okay, you want to start with that?
Yeah.
All right. So what I really wanted was it's called the mohair beanie. So it's kind of I'll show you. Here, I've got it all right here. So it's kind of like a hairier beanie. It's got very woolly, I would say.
Yeah, I see it.
Is what it looks like.
Yep.
And I was looking for the black on black of that. I didn't really want the white with the red Supreme box logo. That's probably what sold out the fastest in those. I also liked the thermal underwear. And I was able to cop a piece of that. I'm a big snowboarder, right? So having a little bit of hype on as underlayers, I think it'd be pretty cool on the mountain, even though fucking nobody sees it. But I think it'd be pretty cool to rock some Supreme thermal. So I was able to get the top. I just passed on the bottom. So I was able to get that today. I also wanted to go after the big ass tagging markers. Are you familiar with those?
No.
When you were younger?
No.
So my mom's a teacher, right? So she had a lot of these big markers in her school classroom so she could write, fonts that were really big on her boards and things of that nature. What I remember about these, so it's kind of maybe a nostalgic thing for me, but if you ever have taken the cap of one of these markers off, the stench on it is so
Oh yeah, it's like
intense.
just a super permanent marker.
Kids
right?
used to get high smelling these
Yep.
joints, right? So it's a super permanent, big tagging marker, I think is what it's known for. But Pilot is the company who makes it, but you have the little Supreme box logo on it. I wanted to get the red, of course, for the Supreme red.
Yeah.
I was able to cop the black, so I was able to get that one just for more.
What was cost on that?
I believe it to be $20.
Holy smokes,
on a marker,
$20
which
for
is
a marker.
crazy.
Jesus.
But I think one of the most hyped items that I couldn't get because on the UK side, these things sold out between 6 and 12 seconds.
Wow.
The New Era big logo headbands. You had the cheetah print, dog. You had the red. You had the black. You had the green.
You wanted one of those? You were just gonna rock that thing around? You're like your Supreme patty rolling around the streets?
No, I was going to sell it.
Oh, I was about to say
That,
Jesus.
for the price of those and for what it was, that was probably where you're going to make the quickest, easiest money.
Yeah.
And the rest of the pack, it was actually Gore-Tex heavy. So you had Gore-Tex
Wait,
jackets.
sorry. Well, before you move on, what was the headband retailing for? And what was it selling? What do you anticipate that it was going to resell for? If you're talking about making good money on it.
Yeah,
what's good money?
I anticipate that it was probably going to sell for double, if not triple, but it retailed for $32.
Oh, okay. So not bad. I mean, that's a lot more. realistic than the marker for $20. Jesus.
Right? Totally.
$32. I mean, okay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
no, I mean, and there's a lot of demand on those headbands. I think obviously it is a box logo around your head, like it
Right.
fits into what Supreme is and what they do. So that's obviously the biggest hyped thing. But if you were able, kind of show you what these look like, if you were able to get any of the Gore-Tex jackets, especially this one with like the flower print,
Yeah.
whatever, that says Gore-Tex on one side, says Supreme on the other side, the box logo.
Kind of looks Japanese inspired a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but I think obviously those were super hyped. Retail on that was about $350.
Holy shit.
So if you're
That's gonna be
talking
hard.
resale,
That's what
you know,
I'm saying.
you
That's
might
gonna be
be
hard.
you might be 600,
No
700.
way, dude. Who's in I bet you that thing doesn't go above 5.
You don't think?
I bet it settles below 5.
All right. Well, here's the deal. We'll find out next podcast.
Yeah.
We'll do a little research, and I think
bet
we
it settles in under 5.
You think?
350 is already, dog. That's so expensive.
You think it settles 5 or under?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Not
bet
initially it'll be high, but it'll go down and it'll settle in. Just like the humidity dunks are still settling in.
So how are we going to make a bet on that?
We may not know right away.
Okay.
Fuck. Let's give it a month to settle in.
A month?
A month is settling in.
That obviously lets the hype die.
Right.
Yeah.
That's settling in. That's what settling in is. I'm not talking because if you're a smart shopper, like I am, you wait because shit's going down, just like I'm doing in the humidity dunks.
Right.
I could cop them all day for. They were down to 185 or whatever the other day.
All right.
Like Supreme.
So
and
five.
shit.
So 5 or less in a month. That puts us pretty much in the heart of winter. I'm trying to think if this makes
Yeah.
sense to me here.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk yourself through it, buddy.
Let's see.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't make sense, JJ? Well, you're a young kid, man. What do you think?
What doesn't make sense? What are you,
You
talking
think in
about?
a
Me
month?
or Dallas?
No,
What?
him.
It doesn't
because I do believe like it will drop and everything because
Well, it'll
It's all-
drop, but how much?
okay.
What do you think today? Since it dropped today at $350.
Today it's gonna be
it-
expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
course.
So what do you what do
But-
you think
Today.
it hits at? 6, 7?
Yeah, probably.
'Kay.
Depending like on how fast people want to flip it. If
Right.
they want to flip it fast, they're sure as hell not gonna sell it for 7. But yeah, in about a month or so, because like especially
Maybe
it's a
5 or less.
Gore-Tex hoodie. Like it is
Gore-Tex
sort of
jacket.
My bad. It's dope, but it's like it's not something that it doesn't have a box logo of any kind on it. So like,
Are you sure?
What do you mean?
That's a box logo.
oh shit, my bad.
That's the Supreme box logo on one side and then the Gore-Tex box logo on the other.
Has 2 box logos.
Fool, I think that's fire. You know what? I'm going to take you on that. Give it a month from today. You say 500 or less.
November 11th. Then
I'll say
Veterans Day.
I'll say you can. I'll say 501 or plus. You know, so
Yeah.
we'll do 5 on that. I'm with you.
What size are we going off of?
Oh, now we
But
do a size.
compare-
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, or are we just going the
Compared to
average?
North Face, dude.
What if there's some that are over 5, some that are under 5? What do we do there? I'm just trying to make sure we got the specifics down, so on Veterans Day we don't have any issues settling up here.
Well, let's do the size we'd wear. I'd wear a large. How about you? Probably a large.
Probably the same.
Let's do
Go
a
with
large.
the size on a large.
Large.
You got it.
Cool. $5.
You got it. $5.
All right,
JJ,
man.
document that bet, please.
So yeah, so that's kind of the Supreme drop. Semi-hyped. Not a lot of stuff for me. They had a weird studded hooded sweatshirt. You've literally have studs that outline this
Look at
whole
that.
hoodie.
That looks
and
like a pair of Brett Michaels jeans right there. Jesus.
I'm telling you,
Wow.
man. Dang. So, there was some weird stuff in my opinion. Maybe I'm just, lost in my own head. But, and I think the other thing, if you could get the printed short sleeve top that just says Supreme across the top, I think the purple was the most hyped on that. But let me give you some UK.
Goes with the grape 5s there.
Yeah, you bet. Let me give you some UK sellout times. So for the red Supreme headband on the UK side, took 6 seconds on average to sell out. On the black Supreme headband, an average of 12 seconds. The cheetah was 14 seconds, and then the like green, forest green, was about 28 seconds. So
Crazy.
Just to give you an idea, it seems like that's what, aside from the Gore-Tex jacket, which was an average of 7 seconds of sellout time, those headbands were the most hyped. It looks like.
Crazy.
Especially that red one.
Yeah, that red one for sure. So.
The
But yeah,
headbands,
man,
the headbands, like I said, that seems like a good retail price, though.
Yeah.
I mean, $32, not bad. Resale, I mean, I wouldn't pay. I probably wouldn't even pay the $32. Like, what would I do with that thing?
Right.
Would I be wearing that around? No. I mean, who's wearing that around unless you're doing a gimmick? Like I said, like Supreme Patty. Like, who's just wearing that headband? Are you going to hoop in that at the gym? Is it an ear warmer type headband? What kind of headband is it? It's not a it looks too big to be a basketball headband, like a sweatband.
Right.
You know what I mean? So is it like an ear warmer type headband? Like, do you wear that thing when you go hit the slopes?
I don't know.
In the winter?
I don't think it's an ear
No,
warmer.
it's just a headband.
I think it's
like
just a regular
basketball
headband.
It's a basketball headband, but it's thick, right? Like it's like I'm talking about the width of it. It's not thin like a normal basketball headband where it could go across your forehead.
It's like, I'm guessing it's like the one that Supreme Patty has, because I've seen some.
You got to have a
people
forehead
wear-
like Sam Cassell to make that thing regular. You know what I mean? Just the alien joint.
5 head for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
The Peyton Manning joint. You know what I mean? Like that would look if the guy Peyton Manning's forehead.
The most
looks
silent
great.
guy in podcast history just looked it up, and it looks like on that Gore-Tex jacket, we're talking
might
resell
get
to
fucked.
be $550 plus on that. So, you might, as it settles, you might be in a good spot.
Oh yeah, you're in some serious trouble.
because like
It's only $50 over
$50
over your price right now.
Well, $550 plus is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
plus?
So I don't know.
Oh, they're estimating.
Yeah,
there's
that's the
I thought
estimated
you
resale.
saw those prices on
No.
StockX.
No,
right?
that's
So
the
we'll see.
estimate. But like, what about North Face? Like, I haven't looked it up, but the North Face Supreme has that. Where's that at?
God, I haven't looked at it because that was last season, correct? To be honest
Because
with
I
you,
would compare that to the Gore-Tex,
To this?
because I have a
You
feeling.
think I think North Face is way more hyped than Gore-Tex.
my point exactly?
Yeah, give me what's your
like,
point?
If the North Face, like, I'm just guessing here, if the North Face stuff is selling for like 700 or 600, then I highly doubt Gore-Tex is gonna be that high.
So you think more hype on the Supreme North Face collab?
Oh yeah, obviously it's
Okay.
North Face. Everyone knows. North
I don't know,
Face.
man. I'm not that
This
deep
is
into
like
Supreme.
the first of me hearing of Gore-Tex. to
So
be
here
honest.
on
Gore-Tex?
this North
What? Come
Face
on.
metallic hoodie, that one, or I'm sorry, the metallic jacket. You know what I'm talking about? That one,
That one wasn't from last season.
525 in the large. What do you mean? It was 4/5/2018.
Was it?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, maybe
And they also have a hoodie that has the metallic logo on it. The hoodie's well under, but it's a hoodie. It's not a jacket.
Right.
That one you're looking at 2 something. What other? Was there another North Face jacket?
Yeah, there was
There
one
was
with like a
three.
mountain scene,
There
right?
was a bronze one, there was a gold one, and then there was a silver one.
The North
then
Face
they-
Mountain Parka.
Yeah.
That one's the expensive joint.
Yeah, that was the expensive. That's the one I was
1100.
thinking.
1100 right now on that one. For that.
And I think that was from 2017. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it
This
was
is
like way back.
November of 2017.
That's the one I was kind of thinking. That's the because I'm not that familiar with Supreme, obviously, and I'm new into the game.
Come on, Dallas.
Hey man.
Come on, Dallas.
Hey, I'm
You're
not
talking.
I'm just not that hype
You were
guy.
talking
you know?
all that game against him earlier. JJ thinks he's in the game. He's not in the game, and now all of a sudden you're backpedaling like you're
man.
Pac-Man Jones and shit. Come
Pac-Man
on.
Jones.
Anyways,
So that's kind of what I got for the Supreme drop, man. It sounds like everything sold out pretty quick. Obviously, the hyped items. I tried to get the headbands, and of course, when I got to the card, it already said that it was already sold out. So, but I was able to get the black marker and then the top layer of the, I guess you'd say, the thermal crew.
are you keeping up the resale on those Chuck Taylor off-whites that dropped the other day?
No, man,
Did you see what those are?
I'm over those. I don't know.
They're
what
cheap. They're pretty cheap, dude. Like,
Are they?
Well, I guess they were only 130 retail.
Yeah.
So from if you look at a resale standpoint, it's not cheap. But from an off-white collab perspective, it's cheap.
Yeah,
dude. $300.
Anything that Virgil touches right now seems to just be off the charts.
Right now in 12 and 13 are 300 and 305. You know what I mean?
Huh.
So
That's not terrible.
yeah, exactly. I was super surprised by that.
Yeah, and it seems like those Blazers, which, the black pair of Blazers, that's kind of what I'm still waiting to drop. And in the 10.5s, which would, I think, be, because Blazers run a little bit long, they're down to $519, and I feel like that's a decent price.
Yeah.
If they got under 5, remember, we both said, I said mine was at $450. We'd have to go look at the tapes, but I don't see them going to $450, but I guess anything's possible. Maybe a used pair comes up on GOAT that's in real good condition. Fuck, man, if something comes around that $450, I'm in all day. I'm still kind of waiting for those Blazers to
You
come
gotta
down.
think the hype is gonna die eventually.
On Off-White, for sure. This is the Off-White year, though. We're gonna ride the train until the end of the year, and I think next year it's gonna be something else. A lot of this Off-White stuff will be discounted next year. But
Discounted?
Discounted.
Come on,
man.
It's gonna be discounted.
It's just gonna go for cheaper.
It'll be
That's what I mean.
cheaper. Yeah. It's not gonna be okay.
Thanks for the correction, guy.
Discount. Well, that makes people think it's gonna be under retail.
No.
They take your word as gospel. You know everything. You are the smartest man in streetwear. You are the authority. You're the word for these people.
Yeah,
Anything
come on,
you say
Dallas.
goes. You can't make mistakes.
Fair enough.
You can't misspeak on this podcast. That's how we become not very underrated anymore.
Totally.
I'm just busting your balls. Anyway,
what about the trumpet dunks, man? I haven't heard my update yet.
trumpet dunks. Like I told you, they got down to like 185.
Yeah, JJ was really concerned this morning.
That's the cheapest I've seen, but I think
Shivering in my boots.
they're back in my size, which I'm going off of. They're sitting at 200 right now, so
Are they?
still cheap, but still dropping.
Okay.
Like I said, I could have picked them up for 185, but I'm still waiting. I am. Oh shit! I was just gonna say I'm waiting for a pair to become available with the special box. In a 12. And dude, there hasn't been any 12s, but literally I just clicked on it. $362 with the special box.
So we know your price without the special box is like right at that $150. What's your price right now on the special trumpet box?
Dude, I think I might have to cop.
Especially when you
I haven't thought about it because I've been just waiting for one to come available.
Three sounds good to me. An even 3?
Yeah, but dude, I don't think they're going to go
But you
that
haven't
low.
seen a 12 on there.
I haven't seen a 12
with
at
that.
all. This is the first time I've seen a 12 pop up on StockX.
And it
I'm
can
low
be
key
gone in
ready to
minutes.
cut off the podcast and cop right now.
Well, you know what I'm saying? We could try to get these Element 87s. We take an L there, make up for it by getting that.
Woo!
That might be the pitch.
Wow, I just got excited.
By the way, I did see. I saw your social media post. How do you like your My Adidas? Your custom.
I was going to bring those in today, dude, and I
man.
totally forgot.
I haven't seen them yet.
I just did another pair yesterday.
in person.
I just did another pair. Thank you for bringing that up. That's something I was going to hit on for our listeners.
Okay.
If you guys want to do a custom on those Adidas Climas, a lot of people were hitting me up like, how'd you do that? Where I can't find them on the website. I'll put the link in the description below. I don't know if it's still going to be active because it was active on Monday, then it was gone on Tuesday, then it was back on Wednesday.
Yep.
I assume it's still there.
Is that code? Is the
code
creators
worked as well?
week?
Yeah, so I created another pair and I used the code. With
At
the
165?
code, you get them for 165.
Ooh, that's
so I'll
fire.
put the code, which is Creators Week, all one word, all caps. And then I'll put the link to it in the description on YouTube. So if you want to make a pair of those, hopefully it's still available for you by the time you catch this podcast. But I'll put that in the YouTube description for you guys that want to create those.
Nice.
Because I know I've had people asking me, and I want to help you guys out. So
Yeah, it's a fire shoe,
Keep it
man.
out.
Being able to do what you want with that type of comfort.
every option too.
Under retail,
Yep.
it just makes sense.
There's every option. You can customize everything from the boost to the heel cup to the stripes to the tongue tap. I mean, everything. There's nothing really off limits.
Right.
You could change the cage from the plastic TPUs type cage to the knitted one that comes on the Climas. So you can do glow in the dark prime knit if you want. There's
the tongue
literally
labels,
every option.
the
Yeah.
tongue labels, the laces,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
The thing that I noticed though when I got my new pair, I don't think they come with extra laces.
They do not.
I didn't have any in my box.
Nope, they don't.
So okay,
Yep.
yeah, it was the other Me Adidas
Obviously did.
creations. Yeah, they've all come with extra laces. So I was a little confused on that, and I was like, yeah, maybe I just missed it. But then I created a new pair yesterday, and there's no option to get laces. So that's just kind of is what it is. There.
Hey, real quick, I got an update via JJ. The latest update, the latest sale on StockX of the red Supreme headband that we just talked about, $100.
Yep. I was just going to say between 80 and 100.
So 32, and you know that
said 3
Supreme
times?
always charges $10 of shipping, no matter if you have one item or you have 5 items.
Oh, really?
It's a flat $10, just
that's-
like GOAT.
yeah.
And so that guy's invested $42 into that headband, and obviously just sold it for about 100. So
Sold it for 100. You take the StockX fees away,
yeah,
shipping, whatever. So you're probably making what, $40
$40?
profit?
yeah,
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Well, if you got multiples, then
Right.
then maybe so. But if you just got one, I'd just keep it. But
114 have already sold. So
Well, it depends on how much work you put in to get it too. Like,
right.
is it worth the work? I don't know what he did to get it. Does he have bots? Does he have people? Did
Totally.
he just get on? Did he just all he had to do was wake up early? Depends on the amount of work he put in. For me personally,
Yeah.
is it worth it? I'd have to.
And your jacket is 234.
234 right now? Wow, looking good. We're looking good. That was an easy 5 from Dallas. Wow. We cleared that up quickly, but we'll wait a month.
No, your Supreme Champion jacket with like the 16 logos.
Oh, that one, dude.
Oh.
That one is tanked. I saw that the other day. I was like, wow. That's,
the one with 60 logos?
61 champion logos, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
61 champ logos on there.
The varsity.
Retail on that thing was what? $230 or something like that?
I think it was more than the resale price right now, to be honest.
I think it was like $218, wasn't it?
Oh, I
feel
think
like
you're right,
$218
dude.
is
That
in my
sounds,
And the
head.
cat in a hat
sounds right to
logo
me. Let me see.
is $211.
What was that retail?
160.
Yeah, it's $234. It was $218, Dallas. Good memory.
Yeah.
$218. And the large is $257. So, damn, that's not shit, dude.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to go in with that jacket.
Well, man, let's just make it a big day. Let's
I
get the
don't-
trumpet
let's-
dunks, and let's get the varsity champion jacket, 61 logos plus.
Let's just calm down.
Sounds
How
like
about
a
that?
great day.
Let's just make it a big day. Listen to you, fucking guy, busting out other people's wallets and shit. Anyways, anything more on sneakers or anything you're looking forward to this weekend from the drops? Anything you're looking at copping? I know you need those South Beach 8s. I know you got to have those in your life.
Right.
I know those are dropping.
For me, no, man. I'm taking it pretty easy. I think again, I want to go for as heavy as I can. Oh, gross. JJ's already shown me the fucking jacket's already going for like $515
Yeesh.
last sale. Get out of here.
Not.
I'm over this Supreme. Here,
not
you just want
looking-
your $5 now. Let
No,
me just
we'll wait it out.
Let me
Veterans
just
Day.
Venmo you.
We could wait it out. No problem.
But yeah, this weekend I'm really not looking forward to anything. I just wanted to get this. This would be my 4th pair of Element 87s if I can land a pair today. I'm happy with that this week. I got a couple pieces of Supreme. Nothing hyped.
You're not going
And-
after those future crafts? The 4D Arsham?
Oh, the Daniel Arsham,
Yep.
Arshems or Arshams, whatever.
Yep.
Did you see when you put a blue light or a UV light to those?
Yeah, they have
The
that
future?
little print on the front.
Yeah, it's kind of tight, man. I think it's a great shoe. I already have that Alpha Edge 4D, so I know what the 4D feels like. It's great, but $450
I know,
is the
dude. I
retail
know.
cost on that, man.
It's a lot.
I don't need it that much. I really don't.
For a sneaker that's not
Then
really
get
that
your
comfortable.
Own printer.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Get your own 3D printer.
Yeah. That Dallas 3D printing's crazy. I don't even know. I need to get up on that. I feel like I'm falling behind as far as that technology goes because people are talking about all this stuff you can do and I'm still like,
And I just know it uses light.
right,
And all
I
this
don't
other
understand
stuff.
fully. Yeah, I need to do research on 3D printing before I
But
talk
yeah,
about it.
I'll probably pass on the Arshems or
You are
Arshem.
passing on those?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
$450 for me. I don't have to have that in the collection. I'll just kind of see what it does. But
You think resale is going to be high on those since they're
You know,
already so high?
I do, and I think, yeah, I do. I think because you have the different UV tricks to it. I think it is a pretty cool shoe. I guess fairly neutral because you don't have a.
$945.
What's that?
They're $945.
They're reselling for $945.
Yeah, it's early though. I never pay attention to early prices.
But if you look at most of the 4D shoes, they've all pretty much held their resale value. The Alpha Edges obviously fell quite heavy there when they first came out, but they're back on the rise and getting up there in cost as well.
Some of them were like $2,000 easy.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Some of those I'm just like that Foot Patrol one. That Foot Patrol collab, I think, is what it was. Of the 4Ds. Fuck, those are awesome, man. And they come in a one or two colorways. One colorway. I think it's olive, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. It might
for
have some other colors in
$11.50.
it, but that's going for over $1,000. I'm just like, man, I just
Yeah.
can't. I just can't do it. I don't need it that bad.
Size 11, 1100.
1100. Yeah. So I don't know.
Hitting.
Not for me, man.
Let's move over to NBA. I want to talk a little bit about the Jimmy Butler situation. I want to talk a little bit about the LeBron going facing the Golden State Warriors last night. Obviously preseason, so I know you were locked in, ready to go on that. You had to be geeks preseason basketball. I mean, it still is. It's funny because I have YouTube TV. I don't have cable at the crib, and YouTube TV like selects things that are big, you know, like that are
Right.
prime time, that are hot, you know, kind of hot topics or hot shows that are live. So it'll have that right across the top of the YouTube TV. And that was the first thing that came up was Lakers Golden State. My attention was like, oh shit, did I miss? Like, is this regular season tip off? Like, what is going on? You know, obviously it's not. But in my mind, like I had a little baby freak out for a second. Like, whoa, did I miss some shit? Because
Right.
they promoted it like you see Lakers Golden State. You're like, oh shit. You're like, oh wow, yeah, it's preseason. It's still preseason basketball. But my question to you is, did you watch any of it? Did you care about it first? And then how do you think LeBron and Lonzo Ball are going to play together.
Yeah.
How do you think that marriage or that partnership is going to mesh?
Well, here's what I would say. And this is just based off of some research and watching kind of what I've heard from commentators of the past. It sounds like LeBron has kind of came out and said, "Hey, I want to take Lonzo under my wings. I want to guide him. I want to direct him, help him, develop him." So I think there's already a great chemistry and a great relationship via LeBron the GOAT right now. So I think that's already starting and already good. So I think it's going to be great. But I don't see the Lakers having that chemistry through the regular season that a lot of people are forecasting and hoping for. Do they make the playoffs? Absolutely. And if and when they do, I think they'll go pretty far, like we've talked about in previous podcasts. But I don't think it's going to be a great regular season necessarily. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains and a lot of building of the franchise and getting everybody together. But that's what I'd say to that. Did I watch much of it last night? I watched more of a highlight reel.
Yeah, him throwing up the alley-oop, LeBron hitting the deep three with the full hanging on him.
Yeah, so, I saw some of those things, but, and of course, I always got to see what Lonzo's wearing because he has his own big Baller brand shoe. Of course, he was wearing some Kobe's last night, so, I'm kind of more interested in that type of stuff, but preseason basketball, man, not really for me. I don't get really geeked. I do some research as to the movements and what's happening, trades, that kind of stuff, but, I'm ready for regular season to start.
So that leads me to my next question. What do you think... how do you think that LeVar Ball, excuse me.
Yeah.
How do you think LeVar Ball, being the presence that he is, do you think he's going to frustrate LeBron at all by getting involved, saying maybe, you're not playing with LaMelo or playing with Lonzo the right way, or they need to do this, or, his antics, all the stuff we saw last year. Now, maybe that's not going to happen, or maybe the team's kind of told him, "Hey, dude, you need to chill the fuck out or stay away."
That's what I think.
We got LeBron now. Like the King's here. You need to take a fucking seat.
He's taking a back seat in
you
my
think so?
opinion. I think this
year
year
he's going to start up once the season gets going.
You know what? If they're on a losing spree, if some of these negative things arise, you might see a little bit him going on to some of the sports shows and bringing him on. Because,
I was going to say he hasn't been on any of the hot take shows that you've seen, anything like that this year so far. So far so good for Lakers management. You know what I mean? As far as keeping LeVar Ball quarantined,
damage control.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really, really interesting because LeBron is not going to take any shit. You know what I mean? That's evident, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with LeVar and LeBron and how that meshes, or if Alonzo finally steps up and says, "Dad, just fucking chill. Like I got this. Sit down. Like I'm playing with LeBron." It's going to be interesting for me. Did you see the trailer for the new shop? The show, the shop on HBO?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, there's a new one dropping, I think this week or this coming week. What is it, Tuesday or something?
Awesome. You know what I am disappointed?
What's that?
Baller season's over.
Oh yeah, I'm behind. I didn't catch it.
Oh damn.
Yeah, don't hit me.
Well, there was a guy.
Someone said in the comments
was it RJ?
too.
I think it was Art. The guy.
That he did on Twitter. That's right.
The guy that used to do his YouTube. I don't know if he does it
he
very
still
much,
does occasionally. Yeah.
RJ TV or whatever it was. Yeah. He hit us up and said, "Hey man, love what you're doing, but stop fucking spoiling the Ballers. I can't watch," or something like that.
Yeah. But what I'll say to RJ, we haven't talked about Ballers for probably at least 3 or 4 shows. Like, how far behind are you on the podcast,
late
my guy?
are you, my dude?
Come on, my guy. No, I'm just playing.
Exactly what I
love
was
RJ.
thinking.
That's the guy. That's the homie over there
for sure. Now let's get back to Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah, let's hit on the Jimmy. Did you see the whole?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Stuff? Oh my god,
dude, that fool arranged an interview after practice.
No,
dog.
Well, here, let me say that they did say on SportsCenter. I don't know if this is true or not.
Okay.
But I don't know if you saw this last night after the piece aired. John Anderson on SportsCenter, because SVP's off on Tuesday, Wednesday, I think.
John Anderson. Yep.
So John Anderson said,
not Butchie Grass.
It wasn't Butch. He was on there with John Anderson.
Was he? Nice.
Yeah, it was those two. But John Anderson said, right when they came out of the piece, like in the wide angle camera shot was coming in, he's like, Rachel Nichols already there with Jimmy Butler. She already had that planned in advance with him of this situation, so it worked out well for her.
Yeah.
He made like a little comment like that, insinuating that she had already had this interview worked out.
Gotcha.
Jimmy Butler didn't set this up or call ESPN and be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be,
I got some shit for you. Come on down."
Yeah, so I know a lot of people are thinking that.
Yeah.
And it may be true. Maybe he did. I don't know. But I'm going off of what John Anderson said on SportsCenter. He made a point to say, thank you to Rachel Nichols for that. She had that interview planned out well in advance of what happened today at practice. But good for her. She got,
Yeah.
you know, almost like she got lucky. She
Yeah.
fell into some good shit. You know what I
Totally.
mean? So I want to make that point clear before I go on and before, you know, anyone speculates anything else. That's what was said on SportsCenter. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I'm going off of.
Why do you think he said that? What point is he trying to make? Like, is he trying to take clout away from Rachel Nichols? Is he trying? What is he trying to do?
I think he almost was trying to protect Jimmy Butler and not make him the villain and say,
Interesting.
look at this guy, look at this diva. You
Yeah.
know, he set up this whole thing and
It was just practice.
Yeah, right,
and this-
right.
Yeah.
So I think
Interesting.
I think that's what he was trying to do, almost to keep ESPN in Jimmy Butler's good graces.
Yeah.
As to say, like, hey, we don't want to stir up any trouble. We don't want to make this seem like something it's not.
Right.
Here's what actually happened. And I don't feel like he has any reason to lie, especially on national TV on SportsCenter. I think if they didn't have that set up, his producer would have been like, dude, what the fuck? Why'd you say that? You know what I mean? He'd probably be in trouble for that. So I don't think he would lie. And so that's kind of why I'm going off of what John Anderson said as the truth. I don't know for sure for a 200% certainty, but that's what I'm going off.
That makes sense.
So, but in the interview, do you have some highlights and some things he said in the interview, or did you or some things that kind of hit home for you?
So, you know, it stems from, obviously, Jimmy is sore right now, wants to be traded, wants to get out of Minnesota. I think he feels like, according to the interview, feels like, you know, he's playing with a bunch of people who don't care to win. That's Jimmy's take on it.
That's what it sounded like.
So what he has said, you know, he told Carl Anthony Towns, he put a jab towards him saying, dude, you can't guard me, man. He can't do shit against me in the post, you know, is what he said.
At practice.
At
he
practice.
came in at practice yelling the other day, yelled at the GM, yelled at the players.
He yelled at the GM, Mr. Layden. He says, you fucking need me. You can't win without me, in quotes. And then essentially he teamed up with players off the bench to fucking prove a point and beat the starters in a scrimmage in practice. Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of walked off the court, I guess.
The NBA is back.
Right.
That's it, right?
No shit.
So that's kind of the highlights that I have, but if you have anything more to add to that, that's
I have an opinion.
kind of the gist of
I
it.
don't like the fact that he talked so much about passion. You know, I'm a passionate guy.
Yeah.
We talked about passion in the last podcast.
He said it multiple times.
He talked about passion. He talked about, I'm just a passionate player. I'm just, you know, this, that, and the other. I play harder than everybody. Am I the best? You know, he talked about the athleticism of Wiggins and the athleticism of Towns, and these guys are such gifted athletes, but I just try hard. I just work hard. I just come in here and grind. I just come in here and got passion and all this stuff, right? Here's what kills me and what kind of kills that argument for me. That's cool if you're like that and that's you. And he said, I'm going to be honest. I'm being honest with you. We're just being honest. He said honest like 10 times. You know what I mean? Insinuating that Tibbs, maybe whoever else, any of the other players are not being honest, or the GM is not being honest. You know what I mean? And so here's the thing that kind of kills his argument for me. When he sits there and talks about passion and talks about honesty, and then she brought up the trade and she kind of really had to phrase it really weird so he wouldn't get fined. Did you hear all that? Did you hear Rachel Nichols phrasing the trade talk?
No.
It was weird, dude. And I can't even repeat what she said, but she almost said it in all these legal terms so that way he wouldn't get fined, because I guess he can get fined big money for talking about requesting a trade by the NBA, something like that, which I wasn't really aware of either. And Rachel Nichols, I think she does a great job as a journalist. You know, she's more than just one of those girls that's a pretty face in front of the camera. She's a great journalist. You know, she writes good pieces on ESPN.com. She always has good news stories on there. They're really filled with information. You can tell she's done her research. So I really respect her reporting. I think she did a great job. But when she asked him, when he started talking about passion, and then she started talking about the trade, the teams that have you seen the list of teams he wants to be traded to?
A few of them, yeah.
The Nets, the Clippers, the Knicks, or the Heat. None of those teams give you a better chance to win.
None of them are winning.
Than the team you're on right now.
The Heat damn sure aren't.
Minnesota,
Knicks,
right?
Absolutely not.
Clippers are kind of on. I think the Clippers are going to be down this year.
Yeah,
they're going to have a down year for sure. So and then obviously the Nets, Knicks, Clippers, Heat. None of those teams are better than what you have in Minnesota. You don't have a better coach. You don't have better teammates. You don't have a better supporting cast. Nothing. Why would you want? So the reason you're telling me you're passionate, right? Have you ever known anyone that's passionate that's not competitive or doesn't want to win? That's where the passion comes from. So you're telling me you have all this passion, but then you're not showing me, because you're showing me you're wanting a trade to these teams that can't win now.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say, I'm not selfish. I'm not all about Jimmy Butler, but everything else points to, yes, you are. Everything else, how can you say you have all this passion and then want to go to a team that's not going to win.
That
doesn't seem very passionate to me, Jim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Come on, my guy.
So and I don't really have an argument to that, but my thoughts around that are, Jimmy, I think obviously wants to be in a big city. I think he's gonna. Melo's the same way. Melo wanted to get out of Denver and get to a bigger city, bigger demographic, bigger lights and bigger, entertainment. I think Jimmy probably feels that way as well. So you look at New York, with the Knicks, absolutely. You look at Miami, and Jimmy's a young guy. I think he wants to be, in the public eye. I think he wants to be that guy. I think he wants to be the franchise player. I think he wants a team built around him. I think, for the selfish reasons, obviously, of what Jimmy is. But the second thing is, obviously, I think there is some bad blood within either, obviously, Thibodeau, which he played under Thibodeau in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So there's maybe some bad blood there. I thought that was a great move when he went to Minnesota under Thibodeau. I thought that was going to work out great. But to me, there's obviously some bad blood already there that he wants to get out. But those are kind of my two maybe reasons of Jimmy wanting to get out of there. I think he is being selfish, and I think there's multiple reasons. But those are my big concerns.
From his perspective, so here's what Jimmy Butler kind of was saying and why he's upset. And I see his point here. He says that the GM or the management over there is basically dangling Tibbs in front of him, dangling Tom Thibodeau in front of him, saying basically, you don't want to leave Tibbs. You want to play with Tibbs. Right. Tibbs is your guy. And he said, Tibbs is my guy.
Sure.
I love that guy. But at the end of the day, they're using Tibbs to keep me here and pay me less. You know what I mean? Is essentially what he was saying. He didn't say that. I'm not going to quote that. But he said essentially that's what he's saying is they're trying to not give me a new deal or give me the deal I want, pay me what I want, because they think that I need Tibbs and I need to stay here because of Tibbs. So they're dangling Tibbs in front of my face. Tibbs is kind of caught in the middle.
Right.
So like you said, there is some bad blood. It's a weird situation. It doesn't sound like it's a situation that's going to get fixed this season.
Totally.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded. But it was interesting from both sides. I see some of his points. I see some of his perspective, but I think he's a little off on some shit too.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I stand on that. Like I said, as always, man, feel free to leave your guys' comments on any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. We can get into some YouTube comments and kind of wrap up certain conversations that we've had on the previous podcast.
Yep.
Do you have anything more to hit on with the NBA stuff or Jimmy Butler? Or
no.
Kind of move into the YouTube comments?
Let's move into those. Let's move into the people.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, I wanted you guys to get involved. Let me see what we got here. I'm going to kind of just go down the list, read some of these, and the ones that make the show better are going to be, the ones we spend the most time on. If you have a good take, if you have something that makes me think in a different way that maybe I wasn't thinking before, I always welcome that stuff, man. Let's see. McCarthy brought Crosby in at the end of the game, gave him an opportunity to finally put one through. Class act by McCarthy. Yeah. They were clearly going to lose. Yeah, I agree. He really tried to let him just come out and, hey, hit one, bro. Do something here.
Get something, man.
Do something.
Because there was no help in missing those five, man.
No doubt. Let's see. Talking about the kicks, we talked about that. Wanting us to unbox shoes on here. I don't know that we're gonna make that a regular thing, but
every once in a while,
definitely, yeah. If we have shoes, we can talk about. We'll do that. Let's see. A lot of love for the podcast being A1. Still some hate, some nonsense. Dallas, I think this one is roasting me. This is funny to me, and I can't tell. I think it's kind of a shot at me, like a backhanded slap at me, but yeah, Dallas, you fucked it up. The word you meant to say was tutty, but instead you said touchy. And in doing so, you forced franchise to correct you. LMAO. Zach is on one. So I think he's kind of like, he's kind of throwing jabs because I'm the one that said you fucked it up and I was correcting you, which I was. Yeah. We don't need to relive the whole thing again, but I thought that was really a funny comment there.
I think a week ago there was a comment that says, "Hey man, let Dallas call it what he wants.
Right,
he wants to call it a touchy, a touchdown,
and
whatever."
that's where I responded. And I was like, "Man, you're not understanding. I wasn't trying to correct him just to correct him. I was correcting him because he didn't get the reference right."
Totally.
Anyway, 0% chance they leave the belt dormant. That's what you're talking about. You said they were going to leave the belt dormant. I think strip him. This fool, Keith Crum, 0% chance. Also, Keith, man, this man said he was going to win the DraftKings tournament. I think last week or a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see any. I didn't see any winning going on there out of you, sir. So
Keith, where are you at,
Keith,
man?
What's good?
Are you
bro?
in the basement?
He's down in the. He was. I don't know if he was in the basement, but what else we got here? Yup, us Italians are loud and passionate. I talk loud because it's just who I am. LOL. Customers at my job are always assuming I'm yelling at them or yelling at my coworkers, but my manager has to explain to them I'm not yelling. I just talk loud. I'm Italian. Haha. People don't understand that. F them though. LOL. I appreciate it, man. Relating to me. Chinky Sanchez with that one there. Let's see. Lose the glasses. I'm glad you like them, but not indoors, man. People are gonna really hate me once I get these Cartiers in. I just ordered some custom Cartiers.
What?
They got the light colored lenses in there. You know, Cartiers from Detroit. So I'm super geeked to get those. People are gonna hate me because I'm never gonna take them bitches off. I'm gonna be Cartiered out with the light color. Have you ever worn like some light color, just some glasses that have a light color lens that are kind of made not necessarily for outdoor in the sun, but you can still wear them inside. You can see everything easily. That's kind of how my Ray-Bans, the sunglasses I wear, are. So I like that. I like that fact. But once I get them yays,
the only glasses with
People are gonna
lighter
hate me,
lenses that I wear, motorcycle riding. You know, towards dusk in the evening. You know, I'll wear some lighter lens frame. You know, whatever. But aside from that, I don't wear sunglasses during the day, like during inside or whatnot. I feel weird because I sell stuff on the daily, right? I'm in the eyes of the public all day, every day. So for me, you know, I'm not even usually
necessarily walking around with them in here in work. Like I'm not wearing them here. Those Cartiers I might, because they're like light look color. I mean, it's gonna look like I'm out in the garage cutting wood. I'm gonna basically have safety glasses on all day. You know what I mean? Like no, they're not that shape, but they're just a light color lens on there. So I'm super pumped to get those. He also said on a side note, I love how these podcasts are getting longer. Helps the workday flow by.
Nice.
Dope.
Appreciate that, because we're always concerned, right? Are we going too long? Are we not? You know, that is a concern of ours. So, you know, hey, that's great feedback.
Guy on the right is a beta bitch. Grow some balls. I don't even know what that means. And who is on the right? I guess if the camera's facing, that's you. You need to grow some balls, I guess, Dallas.
I guess I'll grow some. Who said that?
I have no idea.
You don't know? All right, I'll grow some balls then.
Can't even pronounce it. It's foreign. Let's see. I'll say the melee after the fight is actually good for the UFC. UFC has a huge 2019 coming up. Conor signed multiple fight contracts, so he'll be back. John Jones is back. GSP will be active. The lightweight division is stacked, and Brock Lesnar will be back too. This card actually helped them find a main event for the next card, which is 230, Cormier versus Derek Lewis. We're going to hit on that. My other point is, this is why Khabib might get stripped. It all depends on how long he gets suspended, but if he gets suspended 6 months or less, he'll keep his belt. If he gets suspended more than that, they'll make him forfeit his belt, like they did with Conor.
See, and I agree with that. Is that the same guy that said that no? That's a different comment that said no way the belt is laying
different.
dormant.
Yeah,
okay.
This is
See, I agree with this. Now, this has a little research behind it. I think it's a great comment, and I would definitely agree with that. I think if it's under 6 months, you know, the suspension, you know, Khabib probably does keep it, but any time after that, they're going to leave it dormant. They can't leave that belt not being had by somebody for that long. It just doesn't make sense in the UFC. So I agree with this comment. I like this comment.
Yeah, it's good. Really, like I said, making the show better. Yep. Also, I really like the point we kind of wanted to hit on Cormier versus Derek Lewis. Yeah. We kind of want to talk about that, so that can kind of lead us in there. What we saw that got announced the other day. Was Lewis injured, though, after this other fight? Weren't you telling me that in the post-fight press conference?
No, this is the guy that said obviously his balls were hot, that kind of stuff.
Wants to smoke some weed with Joe Rogan. I went back and saw.
Totally.
After you told me that, I went back and watched that.
No, it's a great post interview. As far as I'm aware of, he was just gassed like a mug. You know, that's the only thing I saw. But in terms of injuries, not that I'm aware of. Now, there's no argument here. I was a little surprised that he got this fight. I believed, and if you would have asked me previous to this announcement, I would have believed that Stipe Miocic would have had his second match.
And I saw Stipe said something. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I saw. I asked for the asked for the
he needed
title
the
fight.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a response.
For sure. So I'm surprised they didn't address Miocic. I'm surprised that. And maybe it was discussed. We don't know.
Why are you surprised? This is what is going on in our culture these days. The loud motherfucker is the motherfucker that gets the attention. I don't even want to say it like that, but the squeaky wheel gets the grease, if I have to use more of an old school term or adage. It just is, dude. Why? Think about this. This is kind of going down a slippery slope, man, because we keep rewarding these people that do outlandish shit.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, as long as it's not illegal, like whatever Khabib in his camp, I don't think they're going to be getting rewarded, but they're doing illegal shit. They're committing assault, basically. Totally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but the Jimmy Butler thing, him being in the interview and being all over ESPN, it shows these young kids that you have to be loud and you have to be outspoken and you have to cause some controversy if you want to have your face up on ESPN. Doing well in your sport or making highlight reels no longer does that. You got to take it to the next level. You got to elevate somehow. You got to be Odell Beckham Jr. sitting there doing a Sunday End Countdown interview with Lil Wayne next to him. Like Lil Wayne's his blankie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that just was weird as fuck to me. It was just odd.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good. I didn't think it added anything to it. It didn't make me like Odell Beckham Jr. more.
Right.
I tweeted out, I think this guy, when his career is all said and done, we're going to be thinking about Odell Beckham Jr. as like, damn, he could have been so great.
Yeah.
He was good, and he made some electrifying plays, but he could have been great.
But
I don't think he's going to get to that greatness. Too diva.
Is it the divaness?
Too much divaness,
really,
dude.
Divaness.
Just too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's going to push players away from wanting to play with you.
Yeah.
First and foremost, your quarterback, your coaches,
Right.
and then the rest of your teammates. Are they going to want to be around you? Same thing with Jimmy Butler. Like, when you're saying all that stuff about your teammates,
Yeah.
do they want to be around you? You're saying you're leading by example and you compete so hard in practice and they see all this stuff. So, but is that enough to make them want to be around you after you go on national TV and you say all this kind of stuff?
No.
Or you go yell at them at practice? You know what I mean? So it's just weird. We're in a really crazy time. Getting back to taking those examples and swinging it back to this Derek Lewis fight. This is the reason Derek Lewis got the fight. Let's be real. It was because his post-fight interview was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. It caused people to stop and take and listen. You know what I mean? It wasn't just forward it, whatever, skip it. It made headlines. So now, of course, Daniel Cormier, he's looking for a fight. He's trying to defend his title. Who does he want to take? The guy that's going to draw a bunch of money.
Yeah.
The guy that just had eyes on him. The guy that was just outspoken and loud in front of the cameras.
And don't get it twisted. UFC sees all that money as well.
Of course they do.
That's obviously
Of course they do.
the business that we're in. But hey, you know what? Whether he deserves it or not.
And I'm not saying he doesn't because I didn't see the fight. So and I don't know a ton about
the
Derek
fight
Lewis.
was really good. You know, if Derek Lewis wouldn't have got him with that haymaker, I don't know that he would have won the fight.
Right.
I based off of what I saw, and again, I'm not I'm not the biggest UFC head in the game, but if Derek Lewis hadn't caught him with that haymaker, I would argue that Lewis would have maybe lost that fight.
And
so,
like I said, I didn't see the fight, but I do know that Derek Lewis wasn't on my radar before this.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't on a lot of people's radar, unless you're a big-time MMA fan. You follow the sport closely. If you're a casual guy like me, it's 50-50. Maybe you knew him, maybe you didn't. But now everyone knows him. Even if you're not everyone. I'm not saying he's Chuck Liddell all of a sudden, but he did elevate his profile. He did put himself in the limelight, and obviously he's got a title fight coming up.
He's in the limelight now. Look at what's happened. So TMZ Sports has reported they had an interview with him. You know, they talked about Derek Lewis once beat up 10 dudes at once. He's already saying statements like Conor McGregor should retire. He's in the limelight. He's got clout now all of a sudden. He's got a title fight coming, against Cormier. This guy's out there. I still think he should work on his conditioning a little bit.
Let me know in the comments below. This is interesting to me. Like I said, I'm just a casual UFC fan. Do you ever remember a guy fighting at one pay-per-view, for example, 229 here, and then getting a title fight at the next pay-per-view? No rest?
The next month.
Dude.
I don't really
From 29 to 30.
Yeah.
He's doing back-to-back pay-per-views,
Yeah.
and the next one's a title fight? Do you remember that?
Well, and I think with the UFC, obviously, how much damage did one person or whatever sustain before they can fight again, and are they
How
cleared?
many rounds did he go? Do you know? Do you remember how many rounds that fight
It
went?
wasn't a title fight, so I believe it went all 3 rounds.
It was the third round. He knocked him out.
Yeah,
because you said it was almost coming to the end.
correct.
when he
I think
knocked
it was
him out.
within the last 20 to 30 seconds is when that haymaker occurred and the knockout. But what title fights are 5 rounds, and then a non-title fight is a three rounder. So yeah, you went 3 rounds and the full thing.
That's crazy. He's going back to back. He's going to fight Cormier. Obviously, we know Cormier. He bores the shit out of me with his wrestling, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I watch a Cormier fight, it's
just like Khabib, though. You got Khabib. You got that.
Khabib does a different. Something about Khabib, the way he tied Conor up was more intriguing to me.
Okay.
Than the way Cormier does it. I don't know why. That's just me and my eyes. What I'm watching, my opinion. Cormier it's just every time I see him fight, it feels like 2 guys rolling around on the floor for 5 rounds till one of them gets sleepy, passes out, and they wake up and one of their buttholes is sore.
Yeah, when Cormier...
It's just annoying to me.
When
It's fucking annoying.
Cormier fights, I would agree with that. But otherwise, I love heavyweight fights because, man, they're so intense. They're these big dudes, and they're throwing blows, and somebody's going to get fucking knocked out. Heavyweight fights are usually something to really look forward to.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
No doubt. Let me finish off the end of the comment here. The lightweight division's too stacked for a champion to be sitting out for a period of time. All promotion is good promotion. No fans were hurt. No charges were pressed. Khabib will get a fine. Might get stripped for the belt. But all in UFC. Let's see. Who knows what we might see with Khabib McGregor 2 in 2019. So my other question to you is, do you think we will see a rematch of this fight? And do you think it will be in Vegas?
Yes, I hope we see a rematch.
Why? Did you like the fight that much? You thought it was that good? I thought it was dominant.
No.
What's the point of a
I
rematch?
I didn't like the fight that much, but I'd like to see Conor get a second chance. I like Conor. I like what he stands for. I like his self-marketing. I like what he does. I just really like Conor. So for me, this was probably, and it's arguable, but this is probably one of the most watched pay-per-views of all time.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for these two. They have bad blood. It's kind of like this Diaz and McGregor, how they had bad blood, and you had one win the one fight and the other one won the other fight. I think it's just good for sports. I think it's good for UFC. I think rivalries at this magnitude is good. I think there's going to have to be some huge stipulations, based off of the outcome of this one. If they do fight again, I don't know what that looks like. I'm not in charge of that. But, dude, I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for the UFC. I think it's good for pay-per-view. I think there's a lot of money involved.
Unfortunately, I think there will be a rematch. I don't really think there needs to be. I mean, maybe down the line after they've both fought a few other people or something, and it kind of comes back around.
Yeah.
But just for them to fight again right off the bat, that's each of them's next fight next year. It seems just desperate. It screams money grab to me.
Well,
obviously there's a ton of money on the table. There's a bunch of money for the rematch.
Sure.
It's going to be hyped. I don't think it'll be in Vegas because I think Khabib's going to be suspended for probably 6 to 9 months.
The Nevada Athletic Commission.
Yep, by the Athletic Commission. Conor's already in trouble with the Athletic Commission in New York, so it can't be there.
Right.
He can't fight up there. So it'd have to be one of these, maybe overseas or over on the West Coast somewhere, something like that. But I know of course they're going to fight again.
Yeah. People want it. People want it, and I think the UFC knows that.
It's dangerous,
Look at this. Not to get outside of UFC, because I do want to get back to Khabib and some of the things he recently said in the last 24, 48 hours about the UFC. But if we take it to Mayweather and Pacquiao, who are going to fight by the end of this year,
That's what we're hearing.
Is what we're hearing. That's the rumor, but it sounds like it's going to happen. Dude, I do not want to see those fucking old dudes duke it out for, is this what, a third or fourth time? I can't even remember.
Who, Pacquiao Mayweather?
Pacquiao and Mayweather?
No, this is just,
it's just the second time?
fight.
I don't want to see that anymore, man. They're both out of their primes. They're both out of their big heydays and what they did. Dude, 7 years ago?
It should have happened in 2010 when they first started talking about it.
Absolutely. Let's go. But again, this is just a money-driven,
of course,
for the people.
It's a business.
For the people. The
day,
promoters are going to fucking make their money, and all the viewers are going to see what they want to see, even though, for me, 7 years ago, let's have this conversation now. I'm not even probably going to watch it, to be honest with you, if it does happen.
Sticking with UFC, there's another comment on there. Dude, the UFC is not the NFL. UFC's favoring the UFC, and Conor brings so much publicity and revenue to the company. He has no choice but to protect him. Speaking of Dana White, protecting Conor.
Which I talked about.
I would be shocked if he allowed him to fight another losing fight because he wants to keep the cash cow going, and if he loses, it's over. Like Ronda Rousey. Also, the NFL does favor players. They changed rules. They changed the rules the season after Brady's knee got blown out, and this year they changed it up bring after Rodgers. I don't know what he's trying to say there. He's basically saying they changed the rules again after Rodgers' collarbone incident. So he's saying the NFL. I'm not sure. Did we have that conversation? Did we say the NFL didn't protect players? I don't remember that. But I will speak on the first one. You talked about that. You talked about him protecting Conor McGregor and cash cow. So why do you think he's going to? So he disagrees. He doesn't think they're going to fight again. He thinks that he doesn't want him to fight another losing fight. Yeah. But how do you have an undefeated fighter if Khabib's back in the UFC and he's just destroying people? How do you not put him back up against Conor at some point?
Yeah. No, I think at some point you have to. I don't, and I do think.
And that feels fine to me. But to put him in the next fight they fight together next year feels forced.
Yeah, it feels forced, and I don't think it's ethical if we're talking like who deserves the shot versus who gets the shot. But look at what happened with Derek Lewis. And again, it's not to take anything away from Lewis. I think he's great.
Yeah.
I think he's deserving of shots. Does he deserve This title shot, well, he hasn't lost to Cormier yet. Stipe has.
Yeah.
So that can be argued fucking 6 ways till Sunday. I get that. But I do believe that his cash cow, they will get a rematch because I think there's just so much money on the line. But that is concerning because the other side agrees in me that says, Dana does have to protect his cash cow. In terms of, Ronda Rousey. We look at Ronda, on her downward spiral, losing those multiple times. You're done. You're done.
He also said, and this is something I want to respond to, if you took your 9-year-old, he kind of ends his comment here with, if you took your 9-year-old daughter to a UFC fight, you have bigger problems than fights at the arena. Because you remember I voiced, what if you take your daughter to the fight?
Yeah.
What if you take your, you go with your friends, your family, whatever. Do you feel safe in the arena anymore? Fights breaking out next to you. Not just people climbing the cage, but fights breaking out next to you. So he said that if I took my 9-year-old daughter to a fight, I have bigger problems. I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. I think the world has changed. MMA has changed. MMA, to Khabib's point, what he said after the press conference, it's a respect sport. It's supposed to be a respect sport, not a trash-talking sport. That's what he wants it to be, and I do believe Khabib when he says that. Yeah. I believe that respect is big for him, but that's not what sells fights. You know what I mean? Fights, you don't make millions of dollars
in the seats
by two people respecting each other. You just don't.
Sure.
You need one guy to be the bad guy. You need WWE, man. You need a heel and you need a good guy. You need someone that people don't want to, or they want to cheer against, and you need some people they want to cheer for. And Conor likes being the guy that everyone cheered against forever, and now it's flipped. You see that a lot in WWE. People start cheering for the heel because he becomes cool.
Yeah.
Conor was a bad guy, and now he's become cool. Yep. So everyone has jumped on the bandwagon, and they want to support him, and they only want to see him fight. Totally. So, but where I will take my point here, the world has changed. The industry has changed. Taking your 9-year-old daughter to a UFC fight, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. This is a respect sport, and it is a sport. Yeah, it's combat. But there's kids starting to train UFC at 5, 6, 7 years old, wrestling, grappling, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They're starting to train these kids at a young age, just like you and I started playing football at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. They're starting to do MMA at that age. So me taking... I don't have a 9-year-old daughter, but if I did, I don't think that's a bad thing to have a 9-year-old girl going to a fight to watch and see, especially if she's in karate, she's in mixed martial arts, and she participates in this. She's 9. She understands what the difference between a real fight and a professional fight is, and professionalism is. What we saw the other night, last Saturday night, that's not professionalism.
Correct.
And I think...
And that's not a bad lesson to learn either.
Maybe I have a different perspective on how I'd raise my kids, but I'm not gonna baby my kids. Yeah. I wasn't babied. I think I turned out pretty good. I think I have a pretty good perspective and grasp on things. You know what I mean?
I try
I'm
not
not going to withhold stuff from them like that.
Totally. I try not to agree with you on everything because I don't, this podcast deserves better. But on this, I do agree with you, and I'll tell you why. So one of my best buds, Muzz, his nephew has been doing karate and taekwondo. Karate, wow, my friend.
Okay.
What you know about that?
Not a lot.
JJ, you know about that? Okay,
no,
fair enough.
No,
so karate, and he's been doing jiu-jitsu and all these. This fool, I think his nephew, I can't remember, but I believe his nephew is 8 years old. Just got his black belt. You want to talk about discipline and learning things the right way and learning, all of these. The symbolism and the core values and just the respect and the upbringing of all of these
mixed martial arts teaches
sports.
You that. Yeah.
And I'm not going to take him to UFC to see this in person.
And maybe he was just talking about
this.
a girl. I don't know if he was saying a 9-year-old kid in general, but he said 9-year-old daughter because I said 9-year-old daughter. Gotcha. But I don't care if it's a girl or a boy. I don't think it's a bad thing to take a kid that age to the fights, show them this is what a professional fight is. This is what the atmosphere is like, especially a big time fight like this. This is what it is. You know what I mean? And it made it sound like maybe you don't take her to that fight. Maybe there's bad blood. Conor kind of said some things that are insensitive to religion's culture. Maybe you don't take her to that fight, but he didn't specifically say that. So I feel like, maybe I'm taking your comment wrong, but we just disagree on it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're trying to understand all facets. And I think it's a great comment, but it's okay. It's okay to disagree.
Let's move along.
We're still friends.
Generation Z represent. It would be nice if you guys could timestamp different parts of the podcast. I'm not really interested in football, but I like listening to the sneaker part.
Let's address that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Leave the comment below if you guys feel the same. Do you want timestamps? How I look at it is we put pictures on YouTube if you're not familiar with the YouTube videos, we basically put pictures up about what we're talking about. If you put your finger on the little slider at the bottom and you move along, you'll see those pictures change as the podcast goes on. The pictures represent what we're talking about, which kind of acts as a timestamp.
Yep.
I feel like that's good enough, but let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and that
If
takes
it's
a
not
lot
good
of
enough
work
for you guys. If you guys we started talking Supreme at 9:08, 9 minutes 8 seconds in or whatever, that's fine. Let me know, and I'll make JJ start doing timestamps. If you guys want to put more work on his plate, I get it. We'll do it. We'll make him do more work if you guys want to do that. If the pictures aren't enough for you, but I'm just saying this because maybe you didn't think about it. You know,
maybe you didn't know.
I could just scroll the picture. Yeah, that makes sense. But if that's not good enough for you and you want the timestamps, I will do it. I'll make it happen. I'll make JJ do it.
Yeah, because even putting those pictures there takes a good amount of work.
Yeah, it takes him some work.
So obviously we're trying to do the right things. But hey, it's a great question if you did or didn't know. But now hopefully this helps you out, and we can address actual timestamps later as well. But they're there.
Let's keep going. T, you're killing it, bruv. Big L on the Jetsons Kith collab. Shaking my head. That one comes from DJ Crush there. I think the difference in what Connor did in Brooklyn when he threw the dolly was it wasn't during a regulation match by the state. He wasn't involved in a fight that week.
Right.
By doing that, he got arrested and fined tons of money. Geez, I'm burping my ass off here with the monster. By doing so, he got arrested and fined tons of money, and that was handled by the New York State Police. Khabib, let me scroll down, let me read more. Khabib did all that during a regulated contest, and the governor of the state was present. We talked about that, the governor being in the building. Dana White mentioned that multiple times, the governor being in the building. This is
Exiting
a bad
early.
look for him. Yep. He will probably have issues with his visa and even being able to come over here and fight. They held his fight purse, but gave Connor his money. Horrible thing that happened, and it's one of those things that they're still trying to take out of the sport by settling beef in the cage and not outside of it.
Totally.
So I pretty much agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on all that stuff there. Let's see. Zach is the homie. He's talking about Zach Cooper. We talked about that on the last podcast. You still going to watch the playoffs? If so, who are you rooting for?
And we're talking baseball, yeah? Just make sure.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, we can kind of wrap up on that.
Okay.
What do you? I'll let you answer that first.
For me, I'm kind of done with baseball. I did like the rivalry between Boston and Yankees, and now that obviously Boston has taken that series, for me, my investment's pretty low, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of out. I'm researching other things and on to bigger and better things. Hockey regular season just started. A week ago.
Whoa, are you pumped? You're a big hockey guy?
Yeah.
You're throwing fists in the
I'm
air?
ready.
Are you really?
Man.
You're a big hockey guy?
I played hockey for like 8 years.
JJ, tell me this. Are you going to be able to break down how closely do you follow hockey? If I say, JJ, can you give us an NHL report, center ice with JJ? Can you give us that? How close do you follow it? Could you break it down like I can come in here and break down some NFL?
Following it that closely.
Interesting. That's what I figured. All right.
So you're more passionate because you used to do it. You love it. You can relate. You can understand what's going on.
And it's like fast paced. Yeah. There's like no dull moment, and there's
That's
fights.
true.
It's like, what else can you want? It's like the football and UFC combined.
I like
with
hockey.
Ice skates.
I like hockey, but I'm not as passionate about it as I am NFL.
Same.
Yeah.
But I'm more passionate about hockey than baseball, especially if my Rockies aren't in it, is what I would say for me.
See, and I'm more of the I'll follow it, but if the Avs are good, I'll follow it closer. You know what I'm saying? If the Avs aren't good, I kind of fall off a little bit until the playoffs
That's the
start.
problem.
Similar to baseball. I mean, I guess I'm pretty similar to baseball. The NBA is the only thing I still follow. Even when the Nuggets aren't good, they haven't been good for a hot minute, but I still follow the league. You know what I mean? I still follow what's going on in the league. I really love doing NBA DraftKings just for fun on a random Tuesday night. If I got some extra time, I'll throw a lineup together. It's always fun. It's really, really tough, though, because you never know what you're getting night to night. We've talked about that.
Yeah. For me, I do it with the playoffs. I try to make some bets on the NBA during playoffs because I feel like you do know what you're getting with these players. Usually, they're going to be at their best. They're at their peak. You know, they may still be having wild nights previous, but
No doubt.
you know, I feel like playoffs are a little bit more. You kind of know and can kind of almost not guarantee. You can't guarantee shit, but your odds are better.
So here's what I want to see. I am still going to follow because I mean this is it. The NLCS, ALCS, NLCS starts tonight with the LA Dodgers, Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep.
I'm going to be following that series. I'm going for Milwaukee. I hate LA.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of
Same.
the Dodgers, and I don't like Kershaw. I don't like any of those fools over there.
Old
Puig
man
bugs
Kemp.
me. Kemp, yeah. So Chavez Ravine can stick it up their ass. I'm going for Milwaukee.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going for the Brew Crew, baby. I really like that young team. I was impressed by them. I said they were the hottest team coming into the playoffs.
Pete
They
Davidson's
swept the
my
Rockies
dude.
out. Pete Davidson's over
My
there
dude,
doing
Yelich.
it big. Yelly Belly. I'm going for Milwaukee heavy. But I do, who I really love is the Stros, dude. I wouldn't mind seeing the Stros repeat. I love Altuve. I just love that squad. They have fun over there.
They do. They do.
I really like the Astros a lot. Astros are facing the Red Sox. That series starts tomorrow night. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to actually keep tabs on both of these series. I don't think I'll be watching every single pitch like I was with the Rockies, but I'm definitely going to keep tabs on it. When I'm home, the game's on. I'm going to throw it on. I'm going to watch. And so either Milwaukee or Houston. I don't care. Either one. If it was those two in the World Series, that'd be awesome for me. I would love to see a Milwaukee Houston World Series. I know the MLB probably wouldn't love to see that. They want LA and Boston. I mean, that's who they want. So I want the opposite of what the Major League Baseball wants.
Gotcha.
So that's where I'm going for it. Yeah, that's about it, man. We didn't need to hit on every single comment, but that's all the good comments, kind of adding some stuff to the convo. Telling us we're good, telling us we suck, all the good stuff that happens over here at the podcast. So as always, man, or like I said, make sure you comment if you guys want to get involved in the show. If you got a good take, maybe something that you're thinking about that maybe we didn't think about, or a different perspective. I always love to see that, man. So, and the show's better when everybody's involved. So you want to go jump into some fantasy football from there?
Let's do it, man.
Let's go into fantasy football, man. We talked about DraftKings. Make sure you join the DraftKings tournament.
Yeah.
I took second. Dallas took third. The homie Guap Home took first. And I don't know.
That's his second time now.
No,
taking
no,
first.
it's not.
Are you sure?
No one's repeated.
Okay.
No one's repeated. And if I'm wrong on that, Guap Home hit me, but I'm pretty positive, dude. It's been me. It's been Landog. It's been Guap Home, and it's been someone else.
Because remember when I took second 2 weeks ago? I believe I followed Guap Home. I'm pretty damn sure.
Maybe I'm tripping, bro.
So Guap Home, hit us up, man. Let us know for sure. But I think Guap Home, that might.
And I can't go back to my recents, dude.
Right.
So I can't, like, it's washed out of my recents. I mean, so I can't see.
I feel like that was his second, man.
If I apologize, definitely no disrespect intended, but I thought that we'd all won once.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm tripping. What I do want to tell you is Guap Home and myself had the deep sleeper last week on DraftKings.
Yeah.
The deepest of sleepers, man. If you don't know about Marquez Valdez Scantling, if you don't know about that guy, bro, we both had him. We rostered him last week. That was probably the best DraftKings pickup for me and anyone else that took him. That's, if you don't know who that is, I don't blame you. It's Aaron Rodgers, one of Aaron Rodgers'. It's his 10th receiver over there in Green Bay. He's off the bench, obviously, with the Randall Cobb injury. Adams played, but he was a little bit banged up. They've had some big-time injuries at the wide receiver position. So Marquez Valdez Scantling stepped in and got 19.8 points. And I think he only cost $3,300. That's incredible value.
Killer, man.
I mean, that's
better than Ridley's value back weeks ago.
That's basically a little over 6 times value. So they say to take down tournaments on DraftKings, you want to try to roster guys that are going to give you 3 to 5 times value. So Antonio Brown, it's tough to do that, right? You know what I mean by that? So let's say Antonio Brown is $9K. Okay, 3 times value on Antonio Brown, you're going to be looking at $2,600, $2,600. You know what I mean? Or $2,700, excuse me. Can't do math. My math is bad. So that's 3 times value. I'm sorry, 27 points. If he's $9,000, let me see, $9,000, 3 times value, he needs to get 27 points to pay off 3 times value. 5 times value is going to be tough to hit on that guy.
Ooh.
So they say that's what you need to make. So a lot of these guys that win these big time tournaments on DraftKings, they stay away from guys like Antonio Brown or guys that are big money, Todd Gurley, because usually they don't end up getting to that. They end up putting up 25, 30 points.
Yeah.
But that's really only 2.5, barely 3 times value in a lot of situations. And if they don't hit that, it just kills your roster. If Todd Gurley puts up 15, it just murders your roster because you spent so much money on him and you got no return. So that was a deep sleeper. I just wanted to hit on Marquez Valdez Scantling. Plus, I just love that name. Yeah. How are you Marquez Valdez and then you're Scantling after that? You know what I mean? It's just funny to me.
It doesn't make dollars.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, let's go into Stardom Sit 'em here for week 6.
Real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me just tell the audience,
go
man.
ahead.
I was pretty pumped
Shorty,
on
go
this.
ahead.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped
Shorty,
on
go
this
ahead.
week in fantasy for myself. So I'm in 6 leagues.
No one cares about your fantasy team, Dallas. I'm just kidding.
I went 5-1, dog, this week. I had a hell of a great week, man, and a lot of that was attributed to Yeldon.
I saw
Breeze,
that. We're in some
of my
similar
big
leagues.
ones,
I saw you were killing
Connor,
it.
Odell, obviously, with what he did. So those are kind of some of my main four guys that just really went off. But 5-1.
I can't get a 5-win week to save my life. I'm stuck on 4-2 is the best I can do. We're both in 6 leagues.
Yep.
I can't go 5-1. I've been trying. I'm hoping for a 6-0 one week, but
So you've just been going 4
4 and
2s,
3 and 3s. A couple weeks ago, 2 and 4.
Oh!
bad,
Check
dude.
this out. By the way, the 2 leagues that we're into in together.
Yeah.
We play each other this week.
Oh, we do both leagues.
Both leagues.
Shut up.
Dankos and Dick Mittens.
Wow.
It's on. How
It's
crazy
on.
is that?
I didn't know that, but now I'm gonna try extra hard. I'm gonna go have
come
a
on,
talk
guy.
with my players.
Dang.
No, I'm just kidding. But let me see. Week 5, start 'em, sit 'em. Let's start with quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
Let's jump in there. Who do you got for a guy you want to start this week? Obviously, we've talked about this. Starting players, you have your studs. You have your Tom Brady. You have
Correct.
your Ben Roethlisberger. You have big-time players. These are kind of guys that maybe if you have Drew Brees and he's on a bye this week, someone you want to pick up, someone you want to insert into the lineup, which I do have Drew Brees. Who is this guy for you?
This is why I've got Drew Brees in 5 of my 6 leagues. So because of that, I had to find replacement. So this is to help you guys out, and it's also to help me out because I believe this guy is. So this is his 3rd week back. Okay. I have been really cold on this guy. His first week and obviously last week I said stay away. Don't play with him. But this is a prime time game. I'm going to say start Carson Wentz. I'm starting him because, again, I have Breeze on bye. The reason I like Carson Wentz.
That's tonight's game.
It is tonight's game.
By the time these people are listening to
sorry,
this, they're going to know if you're
Yeah.
good or bad.
For sure. So, and maybe that's good because they're not going to hear this until tomorrow. But, he's
Primetime
been-
divisional matchup tonight, Eagles-Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. So Janoris Jenkins, so who he's going up against tonight, has allowed another touchdown last week. So I think Jenkins has kind of lost a step a little bit there. So I worry about him. The Eagles have always in the history done well going after Eli Apple. So I think matchups, this is good. And if I looked at this correctly, let me make sure here. I was looking at some of the history with the Eagles. So the Eagles are 8-2 straight up against their last 10 meetings with the New York Giants. So they obviously favor that quite hugely. And I believe the Eagles are desperate, for this win as well. So that's what I would say on Mr. Wentz. Start him.
I'm going to go kind of surprising, but it's a guy that's coming back. You said Wentz is at his 3rd game back. This is his 1st game back, and that's Jameis Winston.
Ooh,
Tampa
famous
Bay Buccaneers,
Jameis.
famous
Franchise
Jameis.
QB.
Yep. I told you last week Atlanta would struggle in Pittsburgh. They did. They only put up 17 points.
Yep.
Atlanta's back home this weekend. They're in the Dome. I think they will put up a bunch of points this week, and I think that's going to force Jameis Winston to throw the ball and put up a ton of points as well. He's my spot start of the week. If you're got your quarterback on a bye this week, Jameis Winston's probably available on your waiver wire. I don't think a ton of people rushed out to get him, especially because we don't know what he's going to do. No one's seen him play.
Correct.
Watch after this week when he lights it up, everyone's going to be going to get him. Go and get him this week. If you need someone to stash on your bench, you need a quarterback, you got a bye coming up within the next few weeks. But this week is the week to start Jameis Winston. I saw that Dirk Cutter, the coach for Tampa Bay, said he came back prepared. It's not a big surprise to anyone. Jameis is a favorite of everyone around here. So it sounds like the locker room is embracing him. Everyone's happy to have him back. The Fitz magic has kind of died down a little bit.
Yeah.
All the hype around Ryan Fitzpatrick after starting out super hot 2-0. Just hasn't looked like the same guy after the first 2 weeks. And so Jameis Winston's the guy this week. I think he's going to put up a lot of yards, throw for a few touchdowns against Tampa Bay, and give you a lot of points.
Well, and
I'm sorry, against Atlanta.
And I usually we go, sit-ems on QBs, but let's go to receivers because I want to echo your point here. So my first, actually,
You're jumping around. You're going to receivers. Okay.
You know what? Let's,
No, it's fine.
Let's
What do you wanna
keep
do?
up with it. Now let's keep up with sit-ems.
That's fine.
Sit-ems at QB. Who do you got for sit-em at QB?
Oh man, it's got to be Derek Carr, dude.
Yep.
That guy, you can't start the car.
Yep.
You can't start. Oh, you're going with? Was that your guy?
That's my.
We can
exact
agree
one.
on it then. That's
Yeah.
fine. You don't have to choose somebody
Let me
else.
see.
We can agree.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me why, and then I'll see if I can add anything to it.
It's pretty simple. He's had one great game and 4 terrible games. I mean, It's very, very simple. If this is a guy that I don't want to say he went early this year, but this is a guy a lot of people drafted to be their starting quarterback in fantasy this year. He just hasn't panned out. We've given him time. If you're like me, you like to be patient with your fantasy picks and see him out. We've seen 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is, 5 games. This is going into the 6th week, and it hasn't been good. It's been one game that's been good, 4 terrible games. They're going to London. The Raiders look uninspired. Marshawn Lynch is pissed off. He's not getting the ball on the goal line. Gruden feels like did you hear the statements from Gruden this week? He said he's depressed. Or he said he's feeling depressed.
The Gruden is or the Derek Carr is?
Gruden said that. So I don't think the coaching is going to be there. I mean, it's not looking good for the Raiders at all. So that's why I will say all those reasons sit Derek Carr. It's not really anything super in depth, but he's a guy you got to find an alternative. Yeah. Jameis Winston all day, baby.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And, you know, the matchup with the Seahawks have looked good, the past week or two. I think they're getting that continuity back, even though we still have Earl Thomas, which is a big hit to the defense. I think the Seahawks are looking like the Seahawks should have looked come week 1, week 2. So I think their continuity's gotten a lot better as well, is what I would add to that. So I'm with you on that.
Even DraftKings has dropped him. He's down to 5,100 on DraftKings, dude, which is low for a quarterback. If you guys know DraftKings, what's up?
And you say 3 times that, so he'd have to at least do 6.
Three,
let's say
3 times is what you want
plus.
minimum. 5 times is exceptional. 5 times is where you can start being in the conversation to take down those big money tournaments and shit. Even, ours. It's not crazy money, but it's a pretty good amount of money for somebody, especially on a $5 entry. You're winning between $50, $60, $70, $80 any given week. I mean, as we get more and more players, the price pool is going to jump. Jameis Winston, just to give you perspective, Winston's 5,800, and this is his first game back. That's how bad DraftKings values Derek Carr this week. I'm telling you, got to sit that guy.
You say Derek Carr's 51?
5,100. Wow. Jameis is 5,800, and he's unproven. No one even knows if he's in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Derek Carr's
that's some clunkers, dude.
Getting his way to that 328 yards per game.
No tutties though.
It's just not enough.
You can't put it in the end zone.
Nah, just can't. So
I mean, you got John Gruden taking multiple coaching tips from Pete Carroll this year, not running Marshawn Lynch multiple times on the goal line. Derek Carr throwing picks on the goal line, a la Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl there, Malcolm Butler action.
Right, you are.
So, yeah, dude, you just got to sit him. Where do you? Let's go to running backs here. Yeah. Who's your start of the week on running backs?
For me, I've got a couple different ones, but who I really like this week is Mr. Wendell Smallwood.
Man.
And again, this is another one of those games that's tonight. I hate doing that, but I like where Wendell's coming from.
Yeah, you're really killing it with the advice. This is advice you can use, guys, from Dallas. Yeah. Game's already over.
Yeah, totally. Actually, you know what? Since this airs tomorrow, so this isn't helping, let me go with my second most confident with this, because this isn't doing the people any good. So let's go with
I'm glad I pointed that out for you.
Let's go with Chris Carson.
Chris
Carson's coming in hot, right? So the Raiders themselves have been pummeled by running backs this season. Literally 5.1 yards per carry, and 5 scores coming out of that. So the Raiders, they're getting killed by running backs. Number one. Number two, obviously Carson has earned his right over Mike Davis in terms of touches to be Seahawks back of choice, I believe. Seattle's always run heavy with Russell Wilson, but I think this is a great ground and pound game. The ground approach that the Seahawks should take based off of what the Oakland Raiders have been giving away to their opponents obviously makes this a great upside this week. Okay. Go Carson.
I like it. I have Chris Carson in a couple leagues.
I'm starting him in 2.
I'm happy to hear that. You're up on him. I'm going to go with Aaron Jones, man. The running back situation has been tough over in Green Bay. Hasn't been good in Green Bay. Ty Montgomery, Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones coming back from the injury. That's the guy I'm going to go with this week. I'm going to say Aaron Jones. I think he has a big game against San Francisco. That's like an old school kind of rivalry game, San Francisco, Green Bay Packers. It's under the lights. It's in Lambeau. It's prime time. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I think he has a good game Monday night against the Niners.
Gotcha.
Siddums, who you got?
Siddums, for me, there's 2 that I don't like. One of them's LaShawn McCoy, and I don't like.
There's been trade talks about LaShawn McCoy. Have you heard about all that?
Yeah, that is a mess right now. And
sick.
Camera one gone. Camera one gone. So yeah, with LaShawn McCoy, we're talking trade talks. We're talking no identity with him, with the Bills. They're not somebody they're depending on right now. Last week they gave him a season high of 26 touches, which is literally twice as many as his 2018 high. There's no dependability there. You know, I think the trade talks, the lack of dependability, they gave him the touches last week. He didn't do anything with. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I don't like the matchup this week. The Texans. What was it last week? The Texans, like for example, Ezekiel Elliott only had 84 yards against the Texans last week, so the matchup's not in McCoy's favor either. I just don't like it. That's what I would say.
So yeah, let's go into start 'em, sit 'em here.
Real
six.
quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me just tell the audience,
go
man.
ahead.
I was pretty pumped
Shorty,
on
go
this.
ahead.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped
Shorty,
on
go
this
ahead.
week in fantasy for myself. So I'm in 6 leagues.
No one cares about your fantasy team, Dallas.
I'm
just kidding.
I went 5-1, dog, this week. I had a hell of a great week, man, and a lot of that was attributed to Yeldon.
I saw
Breeze,
that. We're in some
of my
similar
big
leagues.
ones,
I saw you were killing
Connor,
it.
Odell, obviously, with what he did. So those are kind of some of my main four guys that just really went off. But 5-1.
I can't get a 5-win week to save my life. I'm stuck on 4-2 is the best I can do. We're both in 6 leagues.
Yep.
I can't go 5-1. I've been trying. I'm hoping for a 6-0 one week, but
So you've just been going 4
yeah,
4-2s,
3-3s. A couple weeks ago, 2-4.
Oh!
bad,
Check
dude.
this out. By the way, the 2 leagues that we're into in together.
Yeah.
We play each other this week.
Oh, we do both leagues.
Both leagues.
Shut up.
Dankos and Dick Mittens.
Wow,
It's on. How
It's
crazy
on.
is that?
I didn't know that, but now I'm gonna try extra hard. I'm gonna go
come
have a
on,
talk
guy.
with my players.
Dang.
No, I'm just kidding. But let me see. Week 5, start 'em, sit 'em. Let's start with quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
Let's jump in there. Who do you got for a guy you want to start this week? Obviously, we've talked about this. Starting players, you have your studs. You have your Tom Brady. You have
Correct.
your Ben Roethlisberger. You have big-time players. These are kind of guys that maybe if you have Drew Brees and he's on a bye this week, someone you want to pick up, someone you want to insert into the lineup, which I do have Drew Brees. Who is this guy for you?
This is why I've got Drew Brees in 5 of my 6 leagues. So because of that, I had to find replacement. So this is to help you guys out, and it's also to help me out because I believe this guy is. So this is his 3rd week back. Okay. I have been really cold on this guy. His first week and obviously last week I said stay away. Don't play with him. But this is a prime time game. I'm going to say start Carson Wentz. I'm starting him because, again, I have Breeze on bye. The reason I like Carson Wentz.
That's tonight's game.
It is tonight's game.
By the time these people are listening to this, they're going
guys.
to know if you're
Yeah.
good or bad.
For sure. So, and maybe that's good because they're not going to hear this until tomorrow. But,
Primetime divisional matchup tonight, Eagles-Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. So Janoris Jenkins, so who he's going up against tonight, has allowed another touchdown last week. So I think Jenkins has kind of lost a step a little bit there. So I worry about him. The Eagles have always in the history done well going after Eli Apple. So I think matchups, this is good. And if I looked at this correctly, let me make sure here. I was looking at some of the history with the Eagles. So the Eagles are 8-2 straight up against their last 10 meetings with the New York Giants. So they obviously favor that quite hugely. And I believe the Eagles are desperate, for this win as well. So that's what I would say on Mr. Wentz. Start him.
I'm going to go kind of surprising, but it's a guy that's coming back. You said Wentz is at his 3rd game back. This is his 1st game back, and that's Jameis Winston.
Ooh,
Tampa
famous
Bay Buccaneers,
Jameis.
famous
Franchise
Jameis.
QB.
Yep. I told you last week Atlanta would struggle in Pittsburgh. They did. They only put up 17 points.
Yep.
Atlanta's back home this weekend. They're in the Dome. I think they will put up a bunch of points this week, and I think that's going to force Jameis Winston to throw the ball and put up a ton of points as well. He's my spot start of the week. If you're got your quarterback on a bye this week, Jameis Winston's probably available on your waiver wire. I don't think a ton of people rushed out to get him, especially because we don't know what he's going to do. No one's seen him play.
Correct.
Watch after this week when he lights it up, everyone's going to be going to get him. Go and get him this week. If you need someone to stash on your bench. You need a quarterback. You got a bye coming up within the next few weeks. But this week is the week to start Jameis Winston. I saw that Dirk Cutter, the coach for Tampa Bay, said he came back prepared. It's not a big surprise to anyone. Jameis is a favorite of everyone around here. So it sounds like the locker room is embracing him. Everyone's happy to have him back. The Fitz magic has kind of died down a little bit.
Yeah.
All the hype around Ryan Fitzpatrick after starting out super hot 2-0 just hasn't looked like the same guy after the first 2 weeks. And so Jameis Winston's the guy this week. I think he's going to put up a lot of yards, throw for a few touchdowns against Tampa Bay, and give you a lot of points.
Well, and
against Atlanta.
And usually we go, sit-ems on QBs, but let's go to receivers because I wanna echo your point here. So my first, actually,
you're jumping around. You're going to receivers. Okay.
You know what?
That's fine.
Let's
what do you want to
keep
do?
up with it. Now let's keep up with sit-ems.
That's fine.
Sit-ems at QB. Who do you got for sit-em at QB?
Oh man, it's got to be Derek Carr, dude.
Yep.
That guy, you can't start the car.
Yep.
You can't start. Oh, you're going with? Was that your guy?
That's my.
We can
exact
agree
one.
on it then. That's fine. You don't have to choose somebody else. We can agree.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me why, and then I'll see if I can add anything to it.
It's pretty simple. He's had one great game and 4 terrible games. I mean, it's very, very simple. If this is a guy that I saw, I don't want to say he went early this year, but this is a guy a lot of people drafted to be their starting quarterback in fantasy this year. He just hasn't panned out. We've given him time. If you're like me, you like to be patient with your fantasy picks and see him out. We've seen 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is, 5 games. This is going into the 6th week, and it hasn't been good. It's been 1 game that's been good, 4 terrible games. They're going to London. The Raiders look uninspired. Marshawn Lynch is pissed off. He's not getting the ball on the goal line. Gruden feels like did you hear the statements from Gruden this week? He said he's depressed. Or he said he's feeling depressed.
The Gruden is or the Derek Carr is?
Gruden said that. So I don't think the coaching is going to be there. I mean, it's not looking good for the Raiders at all. So that's why I will say all those reasons sit Derek Carr. It's not really anything super in depth, but he's a guy you got to find an alternative. Yeah. Jameis Winston all day, baby.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And the matchup with the Seahawks have looked good. The past week or two. I think they're getting that continuity back, even though we still have Earl Thomas, which is a big hit to the defense. I think the Seahawks are looking like the Seahawks should have looked come week 1, week 2. So I think their continuity's gotten a lot better as well, is what I would add to that. So I'm with you on that.
Even DraftKings has dropped him. He's down to 5,100 on DraftKings, dude, which is low for a quarterback. So if you guys know DraftKings, what's up?
And you say 3 times that, so he'd have to at least do 6.
Let's
say
3
15
times is
and a
what
half,
you want
16 plus.
minimum. 5 times is exceptional. 5 times is where you can start being in the conversation to take down those big money tournaments and shit. Even, ours. It's not crazy money, but it's a pretty good amount of money for somebody, especially on a $5 entry. You're winning between $50, $60, $70, $80 any given week. I mean, as we get more and more players, the price pool is going to jump. Jameis Winston, just to give you perspective, Winston's 5,800, and this is his first game back. That's how bad DraftKings values Derek Carr this week. I'm telling you, got to sit that guy.
You say Derek Carr's 51?
5,100. Wow. Jameis is 5,800, and he's unproven. No one even knows if he's in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Derek Carr's
that's some clunkers, dude.
Getting his way to that 328 yards per game.
No tutties though.
It's just not enough.
You can't put it in the end zone.
Nah, just can't. So
I mean, you got John Gruden taking multiple coaching tips from Pete Carroll this year, not running Marshawn Lynch multiple times on the goal line. Derek Carr throwing picks on the goal line, a la Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl there, Malcolm Butler action.
Right, you are.
So, yeah, dude, you just got to sit him. Where do you? Let's go to running backs here. Yeah. Who's your start of the week on running backs?
For me, I've got a couple different ones, but who I really like this week is Mr. Wendell Smallwood.
Man.
And again, this is another one of those games that's tonight. I hate doing that, but I like where Wendell's coming from.
Yeah, you're really killing it with the advice. This is advice you can use, guys, from Dallas. Yeah. Game's already over.
Yeah, totally. Actually, you know what? Since this airs tomorrow, so this isn't helping, let me go with my second most confident with this because this isn't doing the people any good. So let's go with
I'm glad I pointed that out for you.
Let's go with Chris Carson.
Chris
Carson's coming in hot, right? So the Raiders themselves have been pummeled by running backs this season. Literally 5.1 yards per carry and 5 scores coming out of that. So the Raiders they're getting killed by running backs. Number one. Number two, obviously Carson has earned his right over Mike Davis in terms of touches to be Seahawks' back of choice, I believe. Seattle's always run heavy with Russell Wilson, but I think this is a great ground and pound game. The ground approach that the Seahawks should take based off of what the Oakland Raiders have been giving away to their opponents obviously makes this a great upside this week.
Okay.
Go Carson.
I like it. I have Chris Carson in a couple leagues.
I'm starting him in 2.
I'm happy to hear that. You're up on him. I'm going to go with Aaron Jones, man. The running back situation has been tough over in Green Bay. Hasn't been good in Green Bay. Ty Montgomery, Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones coming back from the injury. That's the guy I'm going to go with this week. I'm going to say Aaron Jones. I think he has a big game against San Francisco. That's like an old school kind of rivalry game, San Francisco, Green Bay Packers. It's under the lights. It's in Lambeau. It's prime time. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I think he has a good game Monday night against the Niners.
Gotcha.
Sid'ems, who you got?
Sid'ems, for me, there's 2 that I don't like. One of them's LaShawn McCoy, and I don't like...
There's been trade talks about LaShawn McCoy. Have you heard about all that?
Yeah, that is a mess right now. And
sick.
Camera one gone. Camera one gone. So yeah, with LaShawn McCoy, we're talking trade talks. We're talking no identity with him, with the Bills. They're not somebody they're depending on right now. Last week they gave him a season high of 26 touches, which is literally twice as many as his 2018 high. There's no dependability there. I think the trade talks, the lack of dependability, they gave him the touches last week. He didn't do anything with. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I don't like the matchup this week. The Texans. What was it last week? The Texans, like for example, Ezekiel Elliott only had 84 yards against the Texans last week, so the matchup's not in McCoy's favor either. I just don't like it. That's what I would say. Surprising
for me this week, I'm going to have to sit down Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, I don't think he ended well last week with fantasy with his fantasy stat line.
I had him in.
He killed it, but it didn't come until the fourth quarter. If he didn't have a big fourth quarter, he was terrible all day. Yeah. If you were looking at Joe Mixon's production, he was bad all day. I think I thought he would struggle in his return last week. He pretty much did until the fourth quarter. He got lucky. He caught a few big-time passes in the fourth quarter. But I think the sledding is going to be tougher this week against Pittsburgh. It's a tough divisional game. Pittsburgh always plays the Bengals tough. And Pittsburgh's awful against the pass. One of the worst pass defenses in the league, but they're great against the run. Top 5 against the run. I think the Bengals look to exploit the pass and Pittsburgh's leaky pass defense, and they don't really run as much this week with Mixon. I don't think he's going to have that much production. I think they hold him under 10 points, Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my sit-em there. What do you receivers? What do you got? Who's your start? Or did you already go sit? Did you go sit? Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
We talked about sit, for sure.
Sorry, I'm losing it.
My favorite receiver this week, I've got to go with, let me see which one I want to do here.
Somebody from tonight's game, I hope?
it is not, in fact.
Nelson Aguilar?
No. You know what? Let's throw a wide receiver sneaky sleeper in there possibly.
Oh, really?
How about that? Yeah. So I like Chester Rogers.
Hold on to your hats.
Yeah.
Chester Rogers.
What do you know about Chester Rogers? So here's what I would say, not just for fantasy but for DraftKings. This is my sleeper, my possible sleeper this week. So we have Colts at the Jets. And we know that the Jets secondary isn't phenomenal by any means, but this is
29th in the league.
There you go, 29th in the league. So you heard it here, guys. But I believe Rodgers with a floor of 70-plus yards. He's a good third receiver in a non-PPR, and a number 2 option in PPR is what he's going for this week. I believe, Andrew Luck is still kind of looking for his main targets. Last week, Ebron went really, really heavy last week, and luckily I had him in 2 leagues because I think the motherfucker had 30-plus points. So Luck is still constantly looking for somebody to throw it to. I think Hilton is still dealing with some injuries, even though he is still playing with that chest. I don't like it, so I think Rodgers is possibly a second or third best pick from Luck. Ebron is more of that touchdown, that red zone kind of guy. But if you're looking for some of those dramatic long throws, I think Rodgers is a decent pick this week.
Yeah, he tore it up last week against New England, even though it was all garbage time with Andrew Luck there at the end. But he ended up putting up 14 points. He's 4,500 on DraftKings. I like the pick. It is risky. It's dicey. It's not a surefire by any means. I'm going to go with a guy in Cincinnati. Just like I said, I think Pittsburgh is going to stop the run, shut Joe Mixon down, but I think they're going to give up a ton of yards through the air, and Tyler Boyd is going to be the beneficiary of that. I go with Tyler Boyd this week, a guy you definitely got to start. He had a disappointment last week against the Dolphins. I think he only had like 48 yards on a few grabs. So week 5 was tough, but he's still a top 20 fantasy option, especially in PPR formats. Tyler Boyd's the guy to go with this week. Roll him out there. He's going to tear it up. Him and Dalton are going to light the Steelers secondary up this week.
See, the only disagreement I'd have with that is Andy Dalton's track record against the Steelers isn't that great.
Different this year.
So if we're talking
different this year, and so is the
facts,
Steelers secondary. They've been getting crushed this year, dude. Gashed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you might.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. You start Tyler Boyd right now.
Yeah,
I was kidding. Who do you got on the sit-em side?
Sit-em on the receiver side.
Yeah.
I think Allen Robinson is somebody that you sit this year. Yeah, A-Rob with the Bears. So, if they can find their motor on the way back to their ground game, Jordan Howard obviously before their bye had an atrocious game, whereas Tyreek Cohen getting the passes from the backfield, I think had a great game. So my concern is I think the Bears are getting their ground game back in check this week. So I don't think they're going to be airing it out quite a bit with Trubisky
coming out of the bye.
Coming out of the bye, I think the ground games, and also Allen Robinson has yet to notch.
Is that a guy people are starting as a top wide receiver though? You think so?
No, not necessarily. I think he's a second.
He's a wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2. I think some people that are really smart in the game have probably even done 3. But I think the average people are playing him as a top 2. So I think that's why he's worth bringing up. But he hasn't actually notched that double digit yet in fantasy in a non-PPR.
Yep.
In a PPR, he has. So I say their ground game is going to be heavy this week, and overlook Mr. Robinson.
Miami's secondary is pretty good too. They're ranked pretty high on the year. I'm going to go with a gentleman that's kind of come on the scene here the past few weeks. People rushed to the wire to get him. That's Kiki QT. Out of
the Texans.
Yeah, out of the Texans. He had a good week against Dallas.
Last week.
Second straight solid week in a row. So people are probably looking at him like, oh, this is my spot start guy. I got a couple receivers on bye. You got Michael Thomas. Maybe you got some big-time players on buys. You want to look for a guy to throw in there. I don't think this is the week for QT. I'm sitting him down. I think he will still have some good weeks there with Deshaun Watson. But everyone's looking at like, oh, it's the Bills up, man. This guy's going to crush it. The Bills secondary is actually only they're only allowing their 5th best in fantasy points against wide receivers. So they're allowing the 27th most fantasy points. So, I mean, they're really holding it down, dude, over there. As far as the Bills secondary, they're not allowing a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers. I think you got to sit him down there.
Yeah. I'll throw another one out there just as a wild card. I would also sit Josh Gordon this week. Yes, he did have that touchdown.
Against the crappy Chiefs?
Yeah.
Really?
And he had...
Crappy Chiefs defense.
He had Tom Brady's 500th. TD.
Yeah. Why are you sitting him down?
But I don't think he knows the offense quite as well as he needs to yet. I think that wasn't a lucky, like he had to go out and grab that. That wasn't the greatest throw by Brady. His 500.
He kind of threw it, yeah.
So
said,
he kind of had to
go
grab it. He did make that play. But again, and I know Julian Edelman only had 6 last week in a non-PPR, but I think Edelman is still kind of the go-to guy along with Gronk. And I think Gordon, give him another week or 2 before he is consistently in the Patriots scheme. That's what I would say.
Cool. That kind of, you good on the fantasy stuff there? Start him, sit him, wrap up. You want to jump into some of our heaters here?
We can do her.
We are, here, let me update the records for you guys. As far as heaters go, again, we select 3 games each against the spread every single week. And I'm holding it down here at 9-5-1, 9 wins, 5 losses, and 1 push. Dallas is 8-7, 1 game above 500. He's just trying to keep his head above water, for fuck's sake. Because you heard on the last podcast.
As I said it last week.
He's just trying to breathe above water. Is that, I think, the actual quote.
Bet.
But all right, so let's go ahead and jump into that. And this is a segment we call Heaters.
All right, Em. This is my heater. I dare you to hit it.
Action! Too hot, lady. Here come the hot stepper.
All All right, let's go ahead and jump into our heaters. You want to start with most confident this week?
Most confident.
All right, go ahead.
Let's go. All right. Ravens at Titans. I have the spread right now at -2.5 on Baltimore's side, which is +2.5 for Titans. I feel like the Titans cover that spread. The Titans are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 home games. Titans are absolutely tough at Nissan Stadium. I love it. They've been even better at home as the underdog, going 4-0 since November of 2016. Titans cover spread. Let's go. You're most confident.
I'm writing it down this week just so we don't have any confusions with JJ writing down negatives, positives, whatever it may be, me misspeaking.
Gotcha.
My pen would work. All right, so we have Titans
+2.5.
That was your fault, Dallas.
+2.5.
I make no faults, JJ.
Look at JJ leaning in here trying to, let me cut your mic off. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, JJ. JJ Fredette.
JJ
scoring
Redick.
41 points against Houston. Great.
JJ Fredette. It's Jimmer Fredette. It's
I know.
JJ Redick.
I know.
Oh, by the way, did you see JJ Redick scored 41 the other night? Or I mean, Jimmer Fredette scored
Fredette.
41 the other night?
41 against Houston Rockets.
No.
Were you impressed by that, by the way? He took 40 shots. Of course, your fucking answer is no.
Of course,
you weren't
man.
impressed. He took
Yeah.
40. He took 40 shots to score 41 points.
I love it.
Against the Shanghai Rockets. Did you see that? They played.
That's
It was
right.
like the Shanghai. I think
Right.
it was Houston. Was it Houston Rockets, Shanghai Rockets? Something like that? Yeah. Anyway, Titans +2.5 for Dallas.
Got it.
Let's jump back to
You're most confident.
my most confident here. It's a big time rivalry game. I usually don't. I bet rivalry games here and there, but I don't like to go all in on them. This week I'm changing my tune, man.
Yeah, you always try to talk me out of it, guy.
Yep. It's gonna be big this week, man. Bengals, Steelers. Do you know that rivalry? If you know rivalries, you know Bengals Steelers. Did you see that piece they did on SportsCenter last night? It showed all the big hits. It showed like the last 6 or 7 meetings. Dude, it was sick. You should look it up. It was a great piece they did. They showed Antonio Brown getting lit up by Vontaze Burfict, getting helped off the field a few years ago. Yeah. Then they showed Juju Smith-Schuster with that ridiculous block on Burfict last year that laid Burfict out. And remember Burfict was unconscious and he was trying to grab Juju Smith by the ankle and he was shrugging him off. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
And he was but then he got carted out and Pittsburgh was cheering and shit. Dude, it was crazy. If you know this rivalry, I love this rivalry. Outside of Broncos Chiefs, Broncos Raiders is still big. It's not as big as it used to be. Our biggest rival is definitely the Chiefs now. Still the Chargers, but this is the most fun rivalry for me to watch outside of my teams. I love watching Steelers Bengals. Love it.
That's
Classic football there. So I'm going to go, anyway, sorry to get back to my pick. I'm going to go with the Bengals, man. I think the Bengals get it done this week.
What do you have them at? -2?
I have the Bengals at -2. Let me
because here's the deal, not to take anything away from
-2,
yours.
yeah.
This was going to be my third. So
okay.
This was my least confident pick, but I am confident that they will cover the spread.
Bengals?
So yes, I want to take Bengals at -2 as well for my least confident pick.
Pittsburgh's on the road. It's going to be a road game. It's 11 a.m. start. Well, 11 a.m. Mountain for us, 1 o'clock on the East Coast.
Dude, they're 5-0 in their last 5 road games against the Bengals. Come on.
Who?
Pittsburgh.
Against the spread or just straight up?
Just straight up.
They're 5-0 and you're taking the Bengals? Sounds like you're advocating for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I know, but
I'm confused. Who are you taking?
I am taking the Bengals, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-0 on their last 5 road games against the Bengals, so I find that to be interesting. But aside from that, they are also 23-5 straight up, and then you've got 27-1 against the spread.
If you want even worse news for us, the Steelers are 18 for their last 23. They've won 18 out of the last 23 meetings. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
But it's different this year, man. Bengals team's hot. And honestly, here's what I think is going to happen. I think I already told you about Pittsburgh's secondary, decimated. Dalton's been hot. Red Rifle's been on fire. I think what they do is Pittsburgh is going to get a couple guys back this weekend. I don't think that's going to totally fix their secondary, but they are going to get some help back. They're going to get one of their safeties back. They're going to get Mike Hilton back. Joe Hayden's coming back. Yep. So they will have that presence on the field. where they haven't really been, they've been not great on the outside, but the middle has been their problem. Ever really since Ryan Shazier went out with the broken neck last year. They have not been able to defend the middle. So that leaves
opposing tight ends.
Right. So that leaves room for the tight ends in Cincinnati to light him up. And then Giovanni Bernard. I think he has a big game out of the backfield. It's another reason I said sit Joe Mixon this week.
Right.
I think Bernard is the guy that's going to catch those passes out of the backfield. He's really going to be the one that's eating up those big chunk plays.
No, I agree.
For the Bengals.
And they're at home in the jungle.
Yep.
You know, that's a tough place to play, man, for any opposing opponent.
All right, so we're going. So we're both. Oh, I need to write that's my first pick. That's my
your
most
first,
confident.
yep.
So I need to write that down. So we're both going Bengals -2. Is this the first time we've ever agreed?
I think
Or
so.
had one of the same picks. We
I
don't
think
talk
so.
about these before the show.
I find it interesting
We just
that it's
come
your
in here.
most confident and my least confident, but we still are agreeing that the Bengals will obviously cover the spread.
Well, it's not really that interesting. What you need to find interesting is the fact that I'm 10-4 and I don't even know what my record is.
And I'm just trying to keep my head above water.
Right, exactly. That's what you need to find interesting.
Gotcha.
Okay, so then since you already gave that one here, let me give my second one.
Okay.
So we'll both be even at 2 here. I'm going to go with the Pack, man. Green Bay Packers in Lambeau under the lights Monday night. Monday Night Football. I just don't, Niners are 1-4. They've basically already conceded the season. The Packers are fighting for their season. They're at 2-1. We've seen the Packers start this way before. Rodgers has kind of been banged up. They start out slow. They're kind of lethargic. They're like stuck in quicksand. And then they hit a stride and they just start clicking somehow. The run game gets going. The defense gets going. Rodgers gets going. It seems like it happens every single year like this with the Packers. Maybe I just remember these years more than others, but it feels like they start slow. Everyone starts freaking out. Remember the relax. RELAX.
Yep.
That whole
His little
soundbite,
press
Rodgers.
conference.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it feels like one of those games for me. I think the Packers get a huge win. I think they blow them out. I think this is a big-time win in Lambeau. I think it's like a 24-7 game, 24-10 type of game. I'm going to take the Packers big in this one. Packers, they're going to need that because they're a 10-point dog, right? Or a 10-point favorite. I think I had it at 9.5. Let me double-check and see if it's still sitting there currently. 10. It's at 10. So fuck my 9.5. What do you have it at 10 as well?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going
Pac-Man.
-10, which is insane. That's nuts. That doesn't feel like a good pick at all. It feels awful. It feels absolutely terrible. That team is going to give up 10 points.
Hey,
Feels awful.
My next one is going to be right in the same boat.
Go ahead.
All right. So my right in the middle of the pack. Not my most confident, not my least confident. Right in the middle of the pack. Man, I like this. I like the Bills at the Texans. I've got Bills right now +10, Doug.
All right, let me double check it.
Make sure that's good. Make sure it's none of 9.5 bullshit.
Yep, +10.
All right. So the Buffalo Bills have not only covered, but outright won 5 times as an underdog of 8 or more points since the 2017 campaign started. They most recently bested the Vikings as a 16.5 dog in week 3 and have a chance to be that underdog again with the Texans. Huh? I like them, man.
The Buff nerds.
+10. I'm going to take Buffalo, man. I like it.
Why do you think that's in the same vein as the Pack? They don't have to give up 10. You're getting 10. I think that's good on your side.
I know, but it's still that big deficit. That's what I was.
Yeah, they're getting 10 though. I think it's a really good bet.
I think it's a great bet.
That was one of the ones I definitely contemplated.
That's my feet up bet.
That's your. Oh, you're kicking the feet up on that one.
That's my feet up bet for this week. Go ahead and put feet up.
So
next
you
to
think
it.
the Bills? You think the Bills win the game? Maybe they don't even need the 10.
It's possible.
Look at that.
It's possible that the Buffalo Bills win it, but it's a feet up game.
Feet up like a paraplegic.
Throw me the
Kanye,
FU on it.
Kanye once said.
Give me the FU on it.
I'm gonna go. Man, I hate doing this. I'm taking 3 favorites this week, which I never do. Usually I'm dog heavy.
Ooh,
I love dogs. But this week I'm going with the 3 favorites. I'm going the Jaguars -3 against the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Jags get a nice bounce back. Even though they're in Dallas this week, they played so bad against the Chiefs, dude.
They did.
Like I said, Bortles throwing the ball off his lineman's helmet.
Yeah.
Throwing red zone picks, throwing 4 picks. Just bad, dude. Making the Chiefs defense look like they were the Rams defense. You know what I mean?
Well, making them look like, are you kidding? What, 27
Like
or
a Pro Bowl
31 points.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one, but I think it was 27 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big time. So Jaguars are sitting at 3-2, Cowboys 2-3. Cowboys really need the win to kind of turn their season around. They are at home too, but I just don't think they have what it takes. I think the offensive line's struggling. Dak Prescott looks a little fearful back there. Elliott, they really can't get him going because the line isn't good.
Correct.
And Dak Prescott hasn't been good. So the defenses are stacking the boxes to stop Elliott. There's no threat of Dak Prescott. I think he's really struggled since he lost Witten.
It's Dak's accuracy. I think he lost Witten, but his accuracy just has not been good.
He has no star receiver either.
Underthrowing, overthrowing, accuracy just doesn't look good. I think Troy Aikman actually came out and said that.
Yeah, it reminds me of what's going on with Case Keenum. He looks uncomfortable back behind the line, but the play calling, they're not doing anything to help him out. They're not doing anything. They're not doing these quick little hitters over the middle to kind of get his confidence going. Maybe a little quick crosser to Cole Beasley, a little quick one to Higgins. I think, to Galloway. These are some things that they can do to help him out. There's play calls they can do to help him out. Just like I said, the Broncos need to be doing. They're just not doing it. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars. Cowboys just haven't shown me enough. Jaguars -3 is what it opened at. Let me see if it's still sitting there. I still have the Jaguars -3 as well. So I'm going to go with that. Jags -3 for my last one there. And that's my least confident. But I think Bortles bounces back. Good on that?
Good on that.
All right, that was Heaters. Let's jump into underrated news and kind of wrap this up here. JJ, go ahead and step in here. Give us some underrated news stories.
All right. So,
all right, guys, I'm here. Just came in the room and woke up. We're here.
Hi.
We out here. We in these streets. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so.
All right. You got it?
Okay, so what? Okay.
Sorry, I rattled you.
Yeah,
I rattled them.
Just a little bit. What is your opinion on robots today, and like how far?
Like AI and shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and just like kind of in-house things that have like how we have like, because now we have a robot that could literally run, jump, do all kinds of things that humans can, just not as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like iRobot style, but not as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Because
wait, let me give you my thoughts on AI. I think some of the robot stuff is cool. I think would I ever have an Amazon Echo, a Google Home, any of those bullshits in my crib? No. I turn Siri off. I don't use Siri. I don't like her listening to my shit, asking me what I'm talking about. I hate all that shit. I feel like I need some privacy at some point. I know technology, we need it to move forward and we need it to kind of make our lives easier. And I try to do that, but I also try to still maintain a little bit of privacy. I hate the fact that we're doing like what I don't know. Me personally, I would never put one of those Echoes or Amazon Echo Dot or whatever. I would never put that shit in my crib. I just wouldn't. It's snitching on yourself. It's listening to your shit all the time. Your convos.
I'll kind of put my opinion on there. I'll flip it a little bit and say I do have a couple different robotic things in my house.
Yeah, you
do. We have that robot vacuum. Maybe the Roomba. I don't remember.
You seen this guy's
called.
crib? It's like the Jetsons in that bitch. There's
Yeah,
technology everywhere. Got cameras, got robotic things. Got a robotic dog to play with his dog, so you don't have to do nothing. This guy's got everything.
So I do like that vacuum. Obviously, it doesn't have the capacity to vacuum a shitload of stuff and for super dirty houses, but for if you have an animal or animals in the house, it's nice to have this robot vacuum. Just do some spot cleaning and have it do that and have it dock in its own place and it charges by itself and it essentially memorizes
its own shit.
Yeah, it does its own shit and it memorizes the layout of the house, which is pretty cool. So I do like that. Now the second thing I have is I do have a bunch of Nest cameras.
It memorizes the layout of your house. Tight. Hopefully robbers are hacking that information.
Yeah, so it's pretty
see your
sweet.
House layout. Sweet.
Could be.
Yeah, they are.
But I also have the Nest cameras, and you can consider those robotic in some sorts.
Yeah,
but
other people are watching your crib. You think you're the only one logging in and watching your crib?
Well, hopefully,
you're really killing it. You're really making it easy to get robbed.
Hopefully, Robin and I are giving them good, good content. Good content.
Good content.
But I have a lot of these cameras in the house to protect our valuables, to also spy on the animals,
to show everyone else
doing.
what valuables we have, so we can get robbed. Jesus,
franchise
Dallas.
isn't about that robot
fuck
life.
No, I don't like any of that shit. I don't want any snitching going on. I don't want any motherfuckers being able to see what the fuck I got, being able to hear what the fuck I'm talking about.
Damn.
I don't want any of that.
Snitches
Yeah, fuck
end up
that
in
shit.
ditches, dog.
Exactly.
All right, what do you got,
I don't
JJ?
want that shit.
So,
Oh yeah, sorry. Where were you going with that?
Researchers made these skins made out of elastic sheets and embedded sensors in them that could be remotely operated, which work together to create makeshift robots. So, for this example, they take this like stuffed animal horse, and the horse could walk.
Oh, by just putting those little robotic
those
things
little
around the legs?
robotic mechanical sleeves on them.
Interesting.
And it makes them almost do the same movements as a human. It's
Essentially,
obviously based off of that. Okay.
What is that going to be used for in the future? Like, what's the point of that?
So,
I'm confused.
it's for like disaster issues and like they need shit fast type of thing. So, essentially, they don't have the greatest example, but essentially the whole idea is for people to like, for example, if there's like a bomb or something like that and they don't have time for like someone to show up with the bomb squad or something like that, they could literally just pick up shit from their thing, like their surroundings and everything, put a camera on it and go see what's up or something like that. So
without
like,
endangering humans or police
exactly,
force or whatever.
It's just like it's supposed to be a
Or
very
dogs.
quick fix, not just having to like wait and shit like that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Camera down. Another camera down.
Gotcha.
Another one down.
Losing them. Another
Okay, go
one
ahead.
bites the dust.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that's cool. I mean, and like I said, there's some great things about technology. There's some things that I embrace, and there's some things that I just don't want to be a part of my life. But I feel like we're going down a slippery slope of my browser saving all my passwords. My browser on my phone saves all my passwords. And you're going to get stuck in this, we're going to get stuck in this place pretty soon if you're not already, because I already feel stuck. What do I want to give up as far as my privacy and my freedoms? And what do I want to do for convenience? You get stuck. Like, do you want to give up the privacy for the convenience, or do you want to make it harder on yourself so you have privacy? Right. You're going to get stuck in that, with that decision to make sooner or later if you're not already. That's where I feel like. I feel like I face that every day.
I think we're already there because, like, look at when you're buying sneakers, right? And do you want it to save your password so you don't have to log in
so it's quick,
manually?
so
it's quicker.
and,
It's quicker. It's quicker. That's what we are.
Yep.
We're an instant
We
gratification
literally
society.
use bots to get shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it is.
And it's like kind of creepy, like seeing that. It's like if you had a kid and saw your kids like stuffed animals just walking around like a normal fucking person, that would be pretty fucking creepy.
And Amazon warehouses, they have a lot of robots that they use in there for fulfillment purposes of people's orders. So, it's out there. It's here. We're living it.
It's like the Terminator.
When my goal is just to blow the fuck up, be balling out, have a flip phone, have people that handle all my shit, and I just can be off the grid. And
just wait till 5G data actually does come about, 2019, 2020. Dude, that's real-time data. That is Terminator shit. You know where Terminator in the movie, he's like looking at you and he's analyzing your whole body, face, age, weight, name, the whole thing. That's what 5G data is, and it's fucking coming.
Wow.
So, robots,
definitely
real deal.
It's not slowing down.
Sweet.
All right,
Thanks for scaring us, JJ. What else?
What's the next one?
I guess,
Thanks, man.
I guess this won't help much either. But you know the the movie Venom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eminem's got the soundtrack or got the Venom song on there.
Yeah,
right?
the worst movie ever that could have been the best, but instead they fucking make it PG-13 instead of R.
Oh, you saw it?
No, I haven't.
What do you mean it's the worst ever?
Just
then?
seen, because how
Okay, you can't just say that and not see the fucking
Venom
movie.
could have been so fucking great from what I'm seeing, from the clips that I've seen, but instead they have to make it PG-13 instead of
movie.
R, and they could have done so much more cool shit having
Disney's
an R
owned by
title
Marvel.
versus a PG-13. Deadpool?
That-
Fucking rated R, and it made it sweet because of the dialogue, the banter, the killing, the
jokes,
cool, gruesome
yeah.
shit, the jokes. They could have, and
Yeah, you had a lot of adult
it's not a
humor in
likely
there, a lot of adult
comparison
jokes.
from that with Venom because it's not the humor, it's not the banter,
It's
it's not the
two
wittiness.
different stories.
But
so.
man, they could have made it so much cooler with an R rating, is my opinion. But go on.
But you also can't say that without seeing it first.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't. So that's why I was
Why are we even talking about it? Go on.
Okay, other than that, so you know how Tom Hardy, other known as Brock, I can't remember the last name, but you know the symbiote and everything and how it takes over his body and everything like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen the movie. I don't do comics.
He doesn't know anything about Venom.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Just speak to Dallas.
Go on.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so quick story to make this make sense. The symbiote is just this like alien like disease or parasite that attached to him and then took over Eddie Brock's body and everything that had ulterior motives and everything like that. And it goes deeper than that. But
I think you
other
have
than
ulterior
that,
motives.
Yeah. So that's the premise of Venom. That's
Okay.
why Venom is who he is, and that's what happened. It's kind of like Spider-Man, right? He's bitten
the
by
evil
that
Spider-Man.
weird.
He's the evil Spider-Man. Okay, that makes more sense.
And,
Could have started
like,
with that one. Very
it's
believed
sort of
there.
weird because now they have this movie, but like the actual Spider-Man turned into Venom or a version of it. So I'm a little confused by that, but that doesn't matter at this
So
point.
if okay, tell me this. Me being a guy, I don't know a ton about comics. I don't follow comic books. I'm not a big sci-fi.
Don't know all the
comic- yeah.
stories. And
Could I go watch this Venom movie and be able to understand the backstory and understand what's going on from the jump, or do I need to go back and do research before I can even go see the film?
I would say so because this is
So
literally
what?
the
Yes or no?
first.
I would say I would be able to watch it, or I need
he
to
would be
Yes.
able to watch
research.
it. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you could just go watch it because
Okay.
this is the first like actual Venom movie,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, like they were saying like the new Spider-Man was gonna be a part of it. I don't know. So
Interesting.
it's his own sort of movie.
Yeah, what you'll get with Marvel is they always kind of tie things together. They allude to certain things. They foreshadow upcoming characters, and they always lead into these things. And that might be something that you miss, but going into this and seeing the first Venom movie and kind of having an idea of how this all comes together, I think you would. But having backstories and stuff, oh yeah, for sure. It only helps because, man, it gets really fucking deep and nerdy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think you go and be entertained. I'm just a little salty that they have the PG-13 rating. Not to get back to that, but when you have that gap between PG-13 and R, I think your flexibility of a dark, gruesome character like Venom, you could really amplify it and really make it just more intense. And again, I'm not a big gruesome kind of guy. I don't watch weird horror flicks, and that's not me.
Yeah.
But I think you can just do more. It just opens up the opportunities with rating systems. But
And with that and everything, so there's a part of it that could actually happen. So
that somebody can turn into Venom.
no, the parasites could actually take control of you and
Okay.
change. Like
Sure.
So these the parasites in real life, they don't have ulterior motives and everything like that. But there is some parasites. I can't find the name of the specific one, but there's one that they've tested on mice that takes away the fear of cats.
Huh. Oh, because mice naturally
Yeah.
have that fear built
Yeah.
in.
Naturally
So
built
now what?
in.
So when they tested it, they put a cat in the cage, and the mice just go up to the cat and start
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah, like
Instead of running away.
It has
staying in
no
the corner
fear
all scared.
whatsoever.
Wild.
And that could affect humans too.
Sure.
That's crazy to think about. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is. Yeah, just back-to-back scary stories for humans. Nice, JJ.
Yeah, nice, JJ.
Really killing it today.
Yeah, I mean, because like you look
Making
at
us
even
paranoid.
flus and viruses. I mean, they take over a body, and obviously there's no ulterior motives. There's nothing there. It's just when you fucking get it, you're sick.
But the thing
that
is,
shit
is
exists.
that
I could believe
the
that.
possibility of having something.
So it's
that
like
does
being able
have
to
ulterior
Yeah.
motive.
It's like being able to hypnotize,
yeah,
but in a
But-
parasite.
in a scarier way because it could end up killing you in the process.
Because someone could slip it to you without you knowing. You can't really be hypnotized without knowing.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're on some like Get Out
Yeah.
shit. She's got the
All the-
spoon going
All
around
of
the
it,
cup.
yeah.
you
All
know.
of a sudden, something that you have been taught to be afraid of and ingrained into your genetics to be afraid of, all of a sudden you're not. You get fucking taken out.
That could be a good thing though too. I mean, you could use that as a positive. Like if just like they do with hypnotism, like someone wants to stop smoking, you give them this parasite where they're just gross the fuck out by cigarettes. They just
Or the
don't
smell
want
or-
cigarettes or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But with a parasite, like its whole thing is to grow and to live off of you, which ends up draining you and.
So it's
killing
saying,
you.
so you're saying there is nothing good about it. Then why are we doing it?
Because research, man, like
insane.
cures.
So we're just doing stuff that's not going to benefit us in the
Okay,
future,
so
just to
the-
show it's possible. Is that what you're
like,
saying?
I don't know. This article is so short. It doesn't even like go that much into detail on
good
how
research,
it like works
JJ.
and everything.
I like
sorry.
it. No, I'm
But
fucking
like,
with you.
uh,
I'm
but-
sorry. Like Eeyore, I'm sorry. I'll do better tomorrow.
Everything's
but like it's just with like Halloween coming up and the movie release and everything, like
Spooky. I feel you.
It's like kind of scary.
It
Because
totally is. It totally is. And I was trying to look at it from a positive standpoint. Like, hey, maybe they could use this research as a positive. But if you're saying no, even if you
like maybe they can later down the road, but right now because it's like a parasite, like yes, it's not gonna like want to go and like have to kill a certain person or something like that, but it's usually parasites end up killing its host.
Yeah, eventually parasites usually take over the
Gotcha.
host and and either kill the host or whatever. But that's the premise behind.
I need to step up my sci-fi game. I'm terrible when it comes to that.
Especially when this is becoming real life.
Yeah, no shit. I need to get my shit together here.
Yeah, you need to get on the Marvel grind.
I'm just trying to get. I'm just trying
read
to
a comic, guy.
I'm just trying to be balling out and get a flip phone. Jesus, fall off the grid. Dope. Is that all you got for underrated news today?
Yeah, that's
all right, so we can kind of end on that. As always, man, if you guys want to get your DraftKings stuff in, or if you want to join the DraftKings League, click the link down in the description. We also are going to put the Adidas Creators Code or Creators Week code, and then the link to the Clima Ultra Boost if you guys want to create pairs of those. I'll put that in the link for you as well. We encourage you to comment, join the show, make the show better for Christ's sake, man. For fuck's sake. Maybe people are religious. They don't like Christ's sake. But make the show better, man. If you have a comment that's going to help make the show better, we will read it on the show always. Anything from you, Dal? Anything you want to close on?
G2G, man.
Let's go. See if we can get some of those Element 87s.
Bait.
And as always, we will see you fools Tuesday.